morning, everyone, and welcome to the November 1st City Council meeting, and happy birthday to Steve Ford. He's not here. You gave him the day off. And Zuri Gomez. Happy birthday to both of these wonderful people. And the November 1st, 2023 meeting of the City Council is called to order. The meeting has been properly noticed and posted in compliance with the open meeting law. These proceedings are being video recorded as well as presented live on KCLV Cable Channel 2. You may also watch the meeting live on Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and Go Vegas app. City Council meeting, as well as all other KCLV programming, may be viewed on the internet at www.kclv.tv/live. The proceedings will be rebroadcast on KCLV Channel 2 and the web the Wednesday of the meeting at 8 p.m., also on Friday at 4 a.m., Saturday at 7 p.m., Sunday at 7 a.m., and the following Monday at 5 p.m. This building is protected by state-of-the-art fire detection and suppression sprinkler systems. If alarms should activate during our meeting today, please evacuate using the exit at the back of chambers. Go out to the mezzanine, proceed out the double doors to the terrace, go down the back staircase. For anyone who has difficulty with stairs, please check with a marshal or fire official for assistance. And once outside, assemble on the northeast corner across the street from City Hall, Lewis and First Streets. Employees wearing safety vests or our city marshals will inform you when it's safe to re-enter the building. For public comment, related items on the agenda, citizen participation, and public hearing items, we have available a speaker card which you may complete and submit to our city clerk up front. Cards are available in the clerk's office or at the rear of these chambers. If you do not submit a card, it does not prevent you from speaking under public comment, citizen participation, or specified public hearing items. If anyone's present today who has need for hearing impaired equipment, please see our city clerk up front. And if you parked in the parking garage across the street, a self-validation machine is located in the foyer between our chambers and the security desk you walk through to enter chambers. You must have your ticket with you to use the machine. However, if you do not, please see security personnel when exiting for a validation coupon. Before we proceed with the agenda, would everyone please rise for the invocation given this morning by Reverend Charlotte Parker, Centers for Spiritual Living, Greater Las Vegas, and remain standing for our pledge. And good morning.
Good morning. Today marks the beginning of the holy season. From November 1st to January 15th, there are 29 holy days celebrated by the 6 major religions of the world. Today, we stand as one, praying. Divine Creator, Great Spirit, sacred by many names and paths, we come together as one voice, calling from the depth of our being to the God of our understanding, to light our path to communication, understanding, peace, love, and kindness in all of our relationships as individuals. One community, pouring our light out to the world, knowing that peace begins with each of us. We take responsibility for bringing that peace into manifestation here and now. We are the light in the darkness that can show the way. Every step we take, every move we make is on sacred ground. Everything we do is someone's answered prayer. Our purpose is to show the way in our words and actions to peace between all peoples and all nations. And so it is. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
Thank you, Reverend Parker. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, this is our ceremonial portion of our agenda, and boy, am I a loud voice. And Councilwoman Polensky, this is your first item. So please, how exciting.
Thank you. I am so excited today to introduce to you the City of Las Vegas's Citizen of the Month. Joe Cortez is known worldwide for his history as both a retired boxer with a 10-1 record and a professional boxing referee who officiated over 176 champion fights, but his story extends far beyond that. Joe, his wife Sylvia, and their family, all here with us today, reside in Las Vegas since 1992. Joe has served our community on multiple boards and councils over the years. Joe was previously appointed by both Governor Gwynn and Governor Gibbons as members of the Nevada State Board of Nursing, was Deputy Constable of North Las Vegas, and Speaker for Clark County Public Schools. He currently serves as the national spokesperson for the Aging in Place Council and is co-owner of La Mansión. La Mansión is a private family estate that was converted into a boutique assisted living community for seniors, featuring 12 lavishly appointed private suites. Joe has also been a boxing analyst for ESPN, of course, acting in such films as Rocky Balboa with Sylvester Stallone, I Spy with Eddie Murphy, and Play It to the Bone with Antonio Banderas. And to date, he still hosts a weekly podcast called The Joe Cortez Show. As you all can see, his contributions to boxing, the youth of Las Vegas, and our senior citizens are very impressive. I'm honored to present this proclamation to Joe today. Come on up, Joe. Will you present him this? I'm going to read it to us. Whereas Joe Cortez, a retired professional boxer and a 6-time Golden Glove champion, whereas Joe Cortez is a retired professional boxing referee who officiated 176 champion fights around the world, whereas Joe Cortez became one of Nevada's and New York's preferred boxing referees and is known for the catchphrase, fair but firm. And whereas Joe Cortez was inducted into the New Jersey Boxing Hall of Fame in 1998, the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 2011, and the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame in 2013. And whereas Joe Cortez, serving as a boxing analyst for ESPN Sports and host of The Joe Cortez Show, which airs every Friday and features interviews with people from all walks of life. And whereas Joe Cortez continues to be a powerful influence in our community through his involvement with seniors and youth through organizations such as the National Aging in Place Council, the North Las Vegas Courthouse for Juvenile Programs, and now, therefore, we, the mayor, and the members of the Las Vegas City Council hereby proudly proclaim November 1st, 2023 as Joe Cortez Day. Thank you, Mr. Cortez. We've got awards and flowers for you. We're going to ask you to give us a few words of wisdom.
Sure. First of all, I want to thank you all for this special day. It's unbelievable, but it's an honor for me to be here. And Mayor Goodman, thank you for having me here. And your husband, good friend of mine from the past. And Councilman Valensky, thank you so much. My daughter, Sandy, and my daughter, Christine, my beautiful wife, Sylvia, and my daughter-in-law, Natalie, who's going to make me a great-grandfather come December. I'm taking my first special friend, Joe Brown, back here. Joe Brown, everybody knows Joe Brown. Joe Brown came up when I got inducted to the International Hall of Fame. He was one of the commissioners that came up to be with me in my special weekend up in Kansas, New York. And I would also want to thank Deanne Cameron, who's the chairperson of the Aging in Place. And thank you so much. I'm involved with her group. We do a lot of speaking around Nevada. And I want to be remembered not as much as a referee, but I want to be remembered when I kicked the bucket. I want to be remembered as a person that was always out to help people. That was my thing. I want to be remembered for that. The boxing thing that's secondary. But I want to say Sylvia, my wife Sylvia, who's in remission now from stage 4 cancer last year. And I have my oldest daughter who's not able to be here today, my oldest daughter Cindy, who's a quadriplegic from a motor accident years ago. And she wished to be here today with us, but in spirit, I know she's here with us. And I have all my dear friends here, Teresa, John, everybody, Wesley and Sherry back here, entertainers, I love them all. I'm glad you guys showed up today. And Mike Ortega, Mike and his brother Rene, and Celestino Ruiz, another referee from Vegas. Well, Mike Ortega, his father was my mentor. He's the gentleman that got me started in boxing when I was 12 years old, and now Mike is out here as a referee in Vegas. Thank you, Mike, for showing up, and your brother Rene. I love them both very much. Celestino, top referee, up-and-coming referee. All I can say is thank you so much, and the officers back in the back there, thank you for serving. Thank you very much. You guys are unbelievable. Thank you so much for being here today. Well, thank you so much thank you so much for the special award. And I don't know if I miss anybody. I'm sorry, but I love you all. But I love you all, and I just want to just say thank you again. And remember, I'm fair, but I'm firm. That's what they know me as, fair, firm referee. But my thing is helping people out there. That's my main thing. Please remember me for that. Helping people. Boxing is secondary.
Many years ahead of you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
We're gonna go in front. Let's get him some hardware. Okay.
Yes. Well, maybe one just this, and then the
Brian,
next
and
one
then
with the family, I think, and the friends. We can just pull it back.
Yeah.
You have done some stuff.
That's what I'm
That's
thinking.
great. Perfect.
Nah, brother.
Are you finally going to have, is that a little boy?
A little girl.
Is that what you do best, right? You train the girls. Councilwoman, how about getting the family and then and the friends? Joe, I mean, he mentioned so many people. They can all come. Yeah, half of the people that really touched you. They're part of your legacy. So come on up.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Let me come in and
Yep. Okay, now you're just, see, not, all right, he's doing it. Okay. If you can see
Now they can get the other picture. On the other picture too. Congratulations. Thank you. Hey, people. Come on, brother. I mean, seriously, Joe Cortez right here, man. Nah, brother. I tell you, big boxer, been born and raised and going to fight my entire life, as you know. Seeing you in the ring, man. At the best of the best, the highest of fights is you in the ring. You, Ricky Steele, and just, I mean, if it wasn't, it was just, come on, man. Yeah, I mean, it was, come on. You guys are just as famous as the people, for people that know. For people that know, y'all were just as famous as almost the people who were fighting. Mm-hmm.
It's been an honor.
Yeah. It's great, brother.
Oh, what a good idea. No.
Oh, yeah, no, not quite.
Not quite. Thank you. We have good luck marriage tips. The good luck and good health, and keep them with you. That happened to be $1,000 poker chips as well, but you can't use them. Okay, you get a good luck marriage tip. We don't go. Otherwise, we would I told Sage that this is the city of Las Vegas, so you know where our bread is buttered.
Yeah.
We love you back one time.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, you know, just as famous as the people who were fighting, man. And everybody wants to see what you were doing, and you know, the damn Joe Cortez, man, are, you know, just great. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Yeah. I could call up my friends right now and say I'm here with Joe Cortez, and they'd be like, oh, yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, very, very nice.
Much deserved.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And prayers for your wife.
Thank you.
Real quick.
Yeah.
You want to get it with the seal in the back? Huh? Oh. Yeah, come over this way. I'm not Jace. I'm Nate. Next thing you know, I'll throw out my bag. We want to take. Hold on, Joe. Watch out for a second. We need to get you the perfection. Get in the middle here. Yeah, scoot over a little bit. Yeah, there you go. And hold on. Yeah, let's get the professional one. Not my first day here.
Joe Brown, you gotta come up here. Come up here.
Yeah.
Joe, I get Joe come up here.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a legend.
Let's go in the next
Yay, that's a good one.
one more. Then enough for that.
You want one flower? Looks so good. So good. Good picture. Good
Oh, yeah.
idea.
Yeah. Because, you know, those will come out. Does it come out? Oh, you got it.
Yeah, just let me work on it. Okay. Let me take it to the back so people don't see me fussing with it. Yeah.
The ceremonial is over.
You're tired, yeah.
I call it over.
You sit right up this moment. Don't blame me. Maybe else happens after this. Yes. Yeah.
Clock still ticking, Councilman.
Oh, yeah. No ring girls.
Thank you.
No Bud Light girls, so they say.
I feel like this is still really far out, but
You think?
it feels like it is.
Does it
Oh my
pull?
god. Yeah.
Can you pull?
It feels a little far out still, don't you think?
Yeah.
I'm not Jace. I tried.
Yeah.
Sure. Is this the daddy?
No.
He's at Nellis right now.
Oh. Well, thank you for your service.
I'm a
out
good
there.
friend of
Wonderful.
Joe's.
Oh, okay. So, what better guy to model yourself after?
He's my mentor.
I love it. Are you a boxer too?
I'm a referee. He's the reason why I'm here in Vegas. I moved here from Chicago.
Yeah, she works
How
with,
long have you been here?
3 years now.
You like it?
I love it.
I know. There's no other place. Out of New York City.
Okay.
Never go back.
Yeah,
Except to
man, born
visit.
and raised here, and,
Thank you.
Like I said, been following
Thanks.
I live in the historic West Side in Martin King, Washington. That's where I grew up with my parents. And then my father was the second black doctor in Nevada. And came out from Houston. Second. Charles Weston. Yeah.
Thanks, Joe. Love to Pam.
Yeah. Appreciate you, brother.
More than that.
Yeah.
I don't think I have to get her number. I just terrible, right in the neighborhood. Rancho and Sarah. Becca family. Is it? Hit by a car? That's Ernie's. Well, big Ernie's way down. There's Bruce there.
And Bruce is dying too of cancer, you know.
You too. Bruce is a terrible shape.
Sad. Big family.
Are they? You don't know anything about when they're doing services? Or
No, we'll find out today probably.
let
I
us
spent
know.
the day there yesterday.
Just let us know.
Yeah, I will.
How are you?
I will. And I can give you Sue's phone number.
I would love it.
Do you want it?
You can write it right on there if you wouldn't mind anywhere. Okay. That was so beautiful and so wonderful to recognize someone who continues to give back in life. And life right now is very challenging for all of us. But for a long time, as you know, we have had issues in the entire country of homelessness and those who cannot keep up with the needs of living. And here in Las Vegas, we have had issue with the unhoused. And as we went to pull ourselves together, with the help of Kathy Thomas, who I know is here, and I'd like her to come up here, and our wonderful Chief Potts, who joined us a year ago. We have the sensitivity, we've all had the sensitivity, safety first, health right up there with it, and the compassion and caring for others. And for those of you who may tune in to watch this on KCLV at some time, our unhoused population, which you look to other cities to see what's happening, we may not be on the front page all the time, but let me tell you, there is no other place but in the heart of this city to find a continuous stream of people who are caring, compassionate, selfless, and steady as a rock, going about every day, getting involved and trying to help our population that's unhoused, as well as everything else that they do. And certainly this has been an enormous undertaking, and partnerships formed, certainly for us in the Department of Public Safety. We have great partnership with the wonderful sheriff and the LVMPD, and certainly with all of our social services. So I'm going to ask, I have some comments I'd like to put forth, but we're talking about a group of people in two special units. One is the MORE team, and the other is our conditions team. So I'm going to ask Chief Potts and Kathy Thomas to speak, and we want to tell you all, men and women, that we admire you. We're grateful to you every day of our lives for every moment that you service people and give of yourselves. So this is our final ceremonial item, and I have the pleasure of recognizing some hardworking city employees. I'd like to invite, and did invite, these two wonderful leaders here to join us. These two have managed two incredibly important sensitive teams here at the city that featured our dedicated individuals who are out on the streets every day working and assisting with our most vulnerable unhoused populations. As you may be aware, the city established the Courtyard Homeless Resource Center 6 years ago in 2017 as a low-barrier shelter, meaning anyone can enter and have a safe place to be. This population is comprised of those who can bring his or her possessions with them and their pets, and at the Courtyard have access not only to medical care but social services, restroom facilities, showers, a computer lab, and so much more. And the so much more are the individuals who work there among all those who come in and out of the center. They also have access to the city's Arrow shuttle transport that makes trips to various agencies such as the Department of Motor Vehicles, Las Vegas Rescue Mission, Southern Nevada Health District, Salvation Army, and the Social Security Office. Those are just a few of the stops that take for free our population to make these services accessible to them. Our goal has always been to assist those experiencing homelessness so they become healthy, housed, and hired. We have many individuals experiencing homelessness who take advantage of the safety and services that the Courtyard provides 24 hours a day, every day. The teams we're recognizing today are the community members conducting outreach to those living on the streets and offering services and assistance. Our MORE team, the multi-agency outreach resource engagement team, known as MORE, and our public safety conditions team, thank you for making that an easy one. And truly, these are the compassionate individuals, each one being out there to help those in need. Realizing each individual may have a different issue with which they're dealing, these outreach efforts are specially tailored to each individual person. Assessment and help that includes housing concerns, need for medical care, shelter, social services, and access, of course, to the Courtyard. We have additional information on all of our services and programs at www.lasvegasnevada.gov/homeless. I'd like to ask the MORE and Condition team members in the audience to please join us at the podium. Don't be shy. Come on down. Now, of course, we do know these wonderful people. Oh my God, look at the smiles. Makes my nose run. Oh my God, you are just beautiful, beautiful people. Thank you. Oh my God. Oh, you're the best. Oh, are you glorious? Thank you so much. Wow. Thank you so much. I can't believe what these wonderful people do all the time. And now Arkin, thank you so much. So as you can tell, this is wonderful. All right, so what we're going to do, maybe let's keep conditions on this side. We'll have more on this side. Oh, are they fabulous? I mean, I just can't tell you. This is such a wonderful program. And these team members that are out in the field, these are the people every single day. Thank you. All right, come close. That's good. Oh, now we're splitting it up. There are so many still that are out in the field working today, but we do have certificates for each, and we're going to go ahead, and before we read the names and give everybody a certificate, I want to first ask Kathy Thomas, if you would, and your MORE team, let's have conversation, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you, City Council, for recognizing this team because they are out on the front lines every single day. We have more teams in the field 7 days a week, and this is often the team that people experiencing homelessness see first. We have been accused of wanting to arrest our way out of this, and that's not what anybody up here is doing. What we've been committed to doing is collaborating in ways and doing it differently than anybody else in the community has ever done it, so we can get people connected to services. The MORE team members actually work for our community partners, and they are here in the audience, so if you're here from West Caris or Salvation Army or wherever, stand up real quick and wave at folks. Homelessness is a community issue, and it requires a community solution. When you see the MORE team out there, understand that this is us as a community agreeing to come together to tackle some really challenging issues from the perspective of the people experiencing the issues. This is us agreeing that everybody has value, and that if we talk to them as an individual and ask them what happened, not what's wrong with you, what did you do wrong, why are you sitting here, what happened? How can we help you address that? So our community partners agreed with us that we could do outreach and engagement differently than we've ever done it as a community. And so these MORE team members who rock it out every single day, and they see stuff you and I couldn't even imagine. They connect with people in ways you and I could never aspire to do. And I also need to acknowledge many of our members have lived experience, so they have walked this walk, and they've transformed their own lives, and they're committed to helping us work with other people who want to transform their lives. This is a small token, you guys. Like, we should put you in a parade and have some ticker tape. I'll figure out how to do that. Because what you all do with us is transforming the game. It's transforming the way we think about serving people experiencing homelessness. It's transforming the way we do the work that we do. And we couldn't do it without our community partners. So I want to say thank you to you all. It's not easy for an organization to, in effect, give up their team members. We feel like they belong to us now. To give up staff resources, to integrate them in ways that maybe aren't the way your parent agency does it, but this is how we get down together. So I want to thank you all publicly, and I want to thank all of you publicly, because you get gully with me every time I ask you to, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
And we have a certificate which we will give to you, and of course a good luck mayorship. But I must tell you that West Care, Salvation Army, we have partners that really have shared this long service need. And we are just beyond, it isn't grateful. We can't be humble enough in telling you how much we need you and appreciate everything that each one of you continue to do and make people who are lost feel part of something. So I'd like now for Chief Potts to make, and then don't go anywhere, because aside from pictures that guys can take, we do have certificates. So our wonderful Chief, go.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning. Thank you so much, Mayor, for recognizing these compassionate warriors. These folks stay pretty busy with council action requests, mayor action requests, city manager requests. They stay really, really busy. So as we know, there's lots of issues in society right now surrounding mental illness, substance abuse, the unhoused, and it definitely exacerbates resources and affects quality of life throughout the country. And we're not immune to it here in our wonderful city, city of Las Vegas. These guardians, I like to call them guardians, the MORE team and conditions team, are at the intersection of these areas and are beyond effective. As we know, as Kathy alluded to, our first stop most of the time is offering those on the margins a gamut of services and shelter, which they often take. And we also know that we can't arrest our way out of these issues, but in my opinion, to change behavior, you have to have consequence. And to that end, our focus has been on partnerships, it's been on compassion, and it's been on proactivity. And so since their inception, I just want to share with you some of the things that they've done since January of 2022. They've made over 400 arrests, over 400 citations, over 2,000 contacts, over 5,000 calls for service. And just this year in 2023, they've cleaned up 268 encampments. And that's with partnerships with Streets and Sanitation and Public Works and our MORE team, as well as Las Vegas Metro. That's over one a day, and over 40 felony arrests. So they're really getting after it. And so they're well deserving of this recognition, and we couldn't be more proud of them. All of this activity, though, most importantly, was done with humanity, was done effectively, was done justly, and was done empathetically. And so these members and their leaders, and I'll say these leaders, take great pride in the work they do in the city they serve, and we couldn't be more proud of them. So thank you very much, and thank you, Mayor, for recognizing them.
Could you read the names of who of them and Kathy to this side, and let's give the certificates. Okay.
You start with the conditions team?
Yeah, we'll start, since we started with the MORE team, we're going to start with our conditions.
So for our conditions team, our fearless leader, Lieutenant Tony Kumamaru. Our Stellar Sergeant, Troy Shepard. Officer Ron Barrera. Officer Paul Bloomfield. Appreciate you, my man. Officer Michael Garrett. Thank you, sir. Officer Ryan Matheson. Officer Reco Mendez. Officer Kyle Oler. Officer Clarence Palma. Officer Brian Pystrip. Nice work, my man. Officer Brandon Soares. I don't think he's here. And Officer Amani Vitali, who's not here as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief. And okay, Ms. Thomas, please.
All right.
Did you pass? Yes, I did. Okay.
All right, so Mario Guzman is our facilitator for this team, and he's got everybody's certificate, so I'll read the names really quickly. Leslie Ann Farrell, Michelle Murphy are on Team 1. Kia Welch, Leah Ely are on Team 2. So I'm going to get this wrong. Don't get mad at me, right? Mayfield Lalong. Did I get that right? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. You know I know who you are. Okay, Jacqueline Gonzalez are on Team 3. We've got Vincent Justina, Wendy Borowski, and Tim Houghton, and Shanika Jones also on our teams. And I'd probably be remiss if I didn't have Maurice Cloutier Wave. He's our manager over homeless services. And we're going to get Mayor chips, too. Mayor, you have some chips? You got them already? Oh, you guys are ahead of me, as usual. All right. So then we'll take pictures. Mark Brown, we want to recognize your work as well. Where are you, Mark? Where are you, Officer Brown? And Chris Fry. Did we miss Officer Chris Fry? Okay, cool. Thank you. All right, so snug up like we like each other.
Okay. The smaller folk, smaller, most powerful folk. I would not ask you. Yeah, really close. Oh, wow.
Get close.
Wait, anybody that can kneel, I'll help up. I can't kneel. Oh, no.
Sorry, you need to come up here. They can't see you. Kind of hard. You can't see them, they can't see you. Right. Oh, yeah, that's good. All right, good. Beautiful. All right, here we go.
Any volunteers for coaching at the Raiders?
All right, here we go. All right, beautiful smile here. 1, 2, 3. Eyes open, smile. Gorgeous.
Again, thank you all. You're blessed people, and we appreciate you and love every one of you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. No, you're so good. Just love you. Thank you all.
Thank you so
Oh, no. Thank you. Thank you. We're so grateful to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Officer, thank you.
Ma'am, thank you.
Hey, that you touch people.
Yes, ma'am.
You do. Okay, yes, so now we'll have a quick few-minute break and start back up. Okay, it seems like we're ready. Everything's functioning. So we're on agenda item 7. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters on the agenda for action. The amount of time any single speaker is allowed may be limited. All comments made will be cross-referenced to those specific items. If anyone submitted a speaker card or wishes to speak under this portion of the agenda, please come to the podium. State your name for the record. It's your opportunity to address council, but council's not able to respond or engage in dialogue. At this point, we have a second public speaking at the end, which gives you more time, but here in the beginning, 1 minute, please. Good morning.
Good morning. My
And
name
happy
is
Halloween late.
Happy late Halloween.
Thank you.
I actually have a letter that I would like to enter into record for item number 15 for the Walker African American Museum Research
Okay.
and History.
That's on a.
My name
your
is
name, would you please, for the record?
My name is Tashika Lawson. I'm with Historic Westside Revitalization. I'm actually here on behalf of a couple of businesses that didn't have the opportunity to come out today. We're talking on item number 15. We wanted to say we're happy with the City of Las Vegas for moving forward with the revitalization for the heart of the Historic West Side using the EDA grant. We are so excited for the investment in our historic Black Corridor. We would like to request some of the following things. One, that the City of Las Vegas open dialogue with our historic West Side businesses that have questions regarding the grant and endeavors in the pipeline that may adversely affect, impact, or benefit their businesses. As we may know, for 2, one of our buildings, the Town Tavern, recently burned down. We would like some of this. Can I have one
Yes.
more minute? Sorry.
If you would give her another couple of
I
seconds.
can do it. We would like some of the, we would like some of the EDA money or some type of money set aside for securing Jackson Street. We currently have a lot of buildings that are projected to either that have burned down or our businesses are afraid to burn down. So please allocate funds for that. Number 3, if we can actually get an update at the SNCC board meeting that's happening on the 6th regarding the EDA grant. And then number 4, can we be mindful in the spending of this? And that is because of the fact that we recently had the expansion of Jackson Street, where we opened up the streets to be expanded, but we did not drop fiber. This is very important when we have so many people in the tech industry trying to get into our neighborhood.
Yes.
We would like to thank the City Council and the City of Las Vegas for their efforts, and look forward to seeing you guys out here.
Thank you. Thank you for coming by again. Anyone else, please come to the podium and state your name for the record. Again, a second opportunity, unless it's public comment item, could be at the end. Good morning.
Good morning, Madam Mayor. May I have 10 minutes? It's worth a try.
Yeah, I always ask. Didn't your parents tell you that? You have to ask.
Oh, Braisted, B-R-A-I-S-T-E-D. Community development, a point of information. Why are we reviewing a dispensary in Henderson? How does that become under your responsibility?
Okay. Thank you.
And the other item is, I noticed that online comments can be sent. Will they be read in the City Council meeting?
Generally, we have not done that, but that is something we can talk to.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else, please state your name for the record. And good morning.
Good morning. My name is Deidre Edmond Drew. I'm a property owner at 418 Jackson Avenue, 89106. Speaking on item 15 for the 1.3 million EDA grant. I'm just now reading it on the agenda that it is for a 3-year span. So these types of things, I guess there's not enough clarity how things are going to be carried out. So I'd ask that going forward that there's more clarity and more transparency on everything that is put out, or at least us knowing how to find the information that we're looking for so that we'll know what's really going on and what's going to be paid. We're hoping,
That's okay, thank you, and I always assure you to call Councilman's office in Ward 5 because staff there really has a great deal of information to share. And that's Councilman Creer, of course. Anyone else, please?
Good morning. Patricia Reed, address is on the record. This council, good morning, by the way, and Madam Mayor, this council's come to know me from my work with animals, and today I'm here to talk to you about my second passion, and that is children. So I need an extra minute or two.
Well, only a minute.
For the record, I work as a school crossing guard at the intersection of Jones Boulevard and Washburn Road in Northwest Las Vegas, and it is very important to note that I am here and have been acting as a private citizen, and I am here to ask for your help, Mayor. You and I can remember when Jones Boulevard was nothing more than a dirt road, and it's now turned into a 4-lane superhighway that does not meet federal guidelines to warrant any kind of a traffic signal. In the meantime, I have drivers who purposely speed through the zone. I have drivers from a private school who purposely make U-turns that are illegal, and under regular circumstances, I would be contacting Mr. Creer, who is now my councilman. But because this falls in a different district, which is Ward 6, I've been communicating with Dr. Bruni and with Ms. Paskey upstairs in the traffic department. A child was almost hit on April 22nd or April 14, 22. A bicyclist was almost hit May 1st, 22. An adult pedestrian walking her dog was almost hit on 9/6, and I was almost hit.
Back. Well, we thank you, and certainly come back at the end. Or
I unfortunately can't do that. I have
Bruni.
items here. I'll go ahead and leave with you. There are
Yes.
pictures of cars that to
Thank
show
you.
you the traffic. I've got 13 cars waiting to make.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Good morning. Good
Good
morning.
morning.
I'm Walter Jones. I'm on numerous properties over off of Jackson and Van Buren, and I want to see if we can get more clarity on item 15, if they get a chance.
Okay, yes. And Councilman Creer, I'm sure at the appropriate time will be addressing all of those issues, but please call his office. Please call Ward 5, Councilman Cedric Creer's office, which you know. Thank you. Well, he did say that there's some more. They want clarity. There were a couple of people that spoke to the clarity on Jackson Street. So
Okay,
thank you for coming down. Appreciate it. Anyone else? Okay, we'll close public comment then and move on to agenda item 8. Possible action, any items from the 9:30 session, council staff and/or the applicant wish to be stricken, table, withdrawn, or held in advance to a future meeting may be brought forward and acted upon at this time. Mayor Pro Tem Knutson.
Madam Mayor, I have 2 items to read. Item number 11, which is an amendment number 1 to the existing franchise agreement between the City and Mercy, Inc., DBA American Medical Response, AMR. There's a request by staff to obey until November 15th, 2023. The second item is item number 3423-0134-SUP1. The applicant owner is Corner Building, LLC at 1205 South Main Street. The applicant is requested to table that item. Those are my motion.
The first one is 11 is obeyed. Did you say?
Staff has requested an abeyance until November 15th.
Okay, thank you very much. The motion, if you would all please vote, and then please post. Thank you. The motion carries. We'll move on to agenda item 9, possible action to approve final minutes by reference to the October 4th, 2023 regular City Council meeting. Mayor Pro Tem may have a motion to approve the minutes.
Madam Mayor, move to approve.
Thank you. This motion to approve, please vote and please post. Motion carries. We'll move on to agenda items 10 through 27, except for number 11 that was now obeyed to the 15th of November. Items 10 through 27, with the exception of 11, on the consent agenda, considered to be routine, recommended for approval by the departments, may be enacted in one motion. Note that the record should reflect my abstention on agenda item 13. Wasn't that just tabled?
That was
13? No. Okay. Abstention on 13 as it pertains to marijuana, medical marijuana. One of my sons involved in the industry. I'll be voting on all others. Are there any items council wishes to bring forward? Nope, we're okay. So Mayor Pro Tem, may I have a motion on the consent agenda, please?
Madam Mayor, move to approve the consent agenda items 10 through 27 with the exception of item 11, which was obeyed, and noted your abstention at item 13.
Thank you very much. There's a motion. Please vote and please post. Motion carries. We'll move on to agenda number 28, Boards and Commission discussion for possible action regarding the reappointment of Marlon Rice to Ward 5C Traffic and Parking Commission. Mr. Rice is eligible for reappointment and has the recommendation of Public Works Director and wishes to continue to serve. Councilman Creer, would you care to make that motion?
Yes,
Please.
I make a motion for approval.
Thank you very much. There's a motion on agenda item 28 for approval. Please vote and please post. And that motion carries. Thank you. Agenda item 29, discussion for possible action regarding the reappointment of members of the Youth Neighborhood Association Partnership Program, YNAP, Grant Review Board from the following list of nominees: Anastasio Del Real, Ward 3, Harry Williams, Ward 5, Maria Fajardo, and Andrew Sierra, Mayor's adult designees, Arnold Parker, Mayor's adult alternate, Melanie McNair, Alexandra Rodriguez, Lamius Johnson, and Daniel Thompson, Mayor's youth designees, and Kyla Moore, my youth alternate, and the appointment of nominees April Lone, Ward 1, Nicholas Lewis, Ward 2, Brenda Flank, Ward 4, Matt Etzel, Ward 6, and Monica Sarkeesian, Naomi Cuff, and Chloe Camarillo, Mayor Youth Designees, all wards. The board consists of 15 members, 8 adults, 7 youth, 2 alternate members, 1 adult and 1 youth. Terms of office are 1 year, and members may be reappointed to consecutive 1-year terms. Expiration of this board occurs yearly. I move to approve these appointments and reappointments as listed, so would you please vote on that motion?
Madam Mayor,
yes.
I'm hearing that I need to amend my designee on the board right now. So, Mr. Dorkek, is that possible?
Don't we have to agendize that?
Correct. That would not be possible because the name isn't on there unless we can bring that person back on his or her own item. Let's go ahead and approve with everyone but whoever you need to remove from the list.
So the motion would be to approve it and then come back and amend the list? I'm just needing to understand.
Who is the person?
So it would be Anastasio Del Real,
So-
the designee, and then it would be Lolina Iturralde.
So, Mayor, would you amend your motion with all of the names that you previously mentioned? Just say, with all the names you previously mentioned, without Anastasio, though, remove him from your motion, and then we'll bring back a new Ward 3 option.
Designee.
At probably the meeting, possibly the 15th if you have a name, but probably the first meeting in December, as long as it beats the first YNAP meeting.
Thank you.
Mrs. Campbell, do you have that? Okay, as long as clerk's office has that, and that's a matter of record, exactly what you've just said with that addition. So please vote, please post. Okay, that motion carries. Thank you. Okay, agenda item 30. Recommending committee, bills eligible for adoption at this meeting, bill number 2023-24. Councilman Knutson, would you like to have the bill read?
Yes, Mayor.
Bill number 2023-24, an ordinance to extend the boundaries of the city to particularly describe the land to be annexed to make its inhabitants subject to the laws, obligations, and benefits of the city, and to provide for other related matters, 23-0245-Annex 1.
And Mayor Pro Tem, would you?
Move to approve.
There's a motion to approve agenda item 30. Please vote and please post. I think it worked, yes. Yes, there we are. Unanimous. Thank you. Agenda item 31, bill number 2023-25. Councilman Knutson, would you like the bill read?
Yes, Mayor.
Bill number 2023-25, an ordinance to amend LVMC Section 9.28.120 and Section 16.16.130 to establish minimum criminal and civil fines for fireworks-related violations and provide for other related matters.
Move to approve.
And there's a motion to approve on the fireworks fine. Thank you. Please vote and please post. And that carries. And agenda item 32, recommending committee, bills eligible for adoption later meeting. Item number 32, bill number 2023-26 will be heard at a later meeting, and we'll move on to new bills. 33, bill number 2023-27 will be heard at the recommending committee meeting Monday, November 13th, 2023. City Attorney, please read that new bill.
Yes, ma'am. Bill number 2023-27, an ordinance to amend various provisions of LVMC Chapter 9.8 relating to the collection of solid waste to change the applicable consumer price index, CPI, from standard all urban consumers for all items index to the historic consumer price index for water and sewer and trash collection services, to change the means of determining rate adjustments, to update the rate tables to reflect current CPI adjusted rates related to waste collection, and to provide for other related matters.
Thank you. New bill 2023-27 is assigned to the November 13th, 2023 recommending committee members, Councilman Knutson and Councilwomen Seaman and Polensky, if any so designated, are unable to attend. The clerk's office will coordinate finding substitutes as necessary. In my direction, please. And we will move on to agenda item 35 ABC, correct?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Number 35, 230178, the following land use entitlement project request on .22 acres, 1001 East Bonanza Road, number 35A, 230178, GPA 1, general plan amendment from PF Public Facility to MXU mixed use. Number 35B, 230178, CON1, rezoning from PR professional office and parking to R3, medium density residential. 35C, 230178, SDR1, for proposed conversion of an existing one-story single-family dwelling to a two-story, four-unit multifamily residential development with waivers, Appendix F, downtown Las Vegas interim development standards. The applicant owner is Brody Lasourde. Planning Commission and staff recommend approval on 230178 GPA 1, 230178 ZON1, and both recommend denial on 230178 SDR 1. These are Wards 5 with Councilman Creer, public hearings which I declare open. Is the applicant or representative present? Okay, then we will turn to planning.
Good morning, Madam Mayor. Peter Lowenstein for the record. So we have been in discussions with the applicant, and they were proposing some revisions to amend this application to a duplex versus a fourplex. The applicant's not here, so at the councilman's discretion, I don't know if he wants to move forward with the item or hold this in abeyance. That would give the applicant additional time to revise plans, or we can move forward with conditions, or whatever the like of the councilman is.
Okay, well, let's turn this over to Councilman Creer.
To be kind, I'm going to obey it for 30 days and see if we can get this stuff together. And then if not, we'll either have to table it or just pull it after that. So I make a motion
What will it be?
I make a motion to
December
obey it till
6th.
December the 6th.
All right, there's a motion to obey item 35 to December 6th. Please vote and please post. Okay, and that motion carries. Thank you very much. We'll move on to agenda item 3623-0442-RC1. Public hearing, applicant owner Joseph and Vanessa Turley. Possible action, land use entitlement project request for review of condition for an approved appeal of Historic Preservation Commission 220327 HPC 1, which states the applicant is directed to file for building permits within 120 days, excuse me, on .21 acres at 700 Park Paseo, R1 single-family residential zone. This is in Ward 3 with Councilwoman Diaz. Staff recommends approval. Is the applicant present? Good morning.
Good morning, Larry Sanchez, 7844 Sorenbrook.
Okay.
I'm here representing the homeowner. As the engineer of record, currently we're in building permit approval or review process.
Okay. Let me turn this over to Mr. Floyd first, and then we'll have public comment.
Sure. Thank you, Mayor. Seth Floyd for the record. Mayor, on September 7th, 2022, the City Council approved a request for an appeal of the Historic Preservation Commission's denial of a certificate of appropriateness for historic aesthetic review. The approval included a condition of approval that the applicant file for building permits within 120 days, which would have been January 7th, 2023. The applicant missed this deadline as an incomplete building permit application, R23-00877, was received by the Building and Safety Division of Community Development on January 19th, 2023. The applicant is requesting a review of this condition in order to remove this condition and continue the building permit review process, as the planning review was denied due to the permit application being received after its due date. Staff is recommending approval of this request, as the goal is for the applicant to ultimately obtain the proper building permits, perform the improvements and revisions in accordance with the conditions of approval, and receive a final inspection in order to secure and protect the public health, safety, and general welfare, as well as maintain the character of the John S. Park Neighborhood Historic District. Thank you.
Very much. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone from the public who would like to make comment? Please come forward, state your name for the record. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Council. My name is Ray Lathrop. I live at 1302 South 6th Street, and I serve as the president of the John S. Park Neighborhood. I'm here today to call attention to the very lengthy and unsatisfactory enforcement of the historic standards as evidenced with this particular home. In 2000, after 3 years of discussions, meetings, and drafts with the participation of over 150 neighbors, our neighborhood became the city's first historic district. With over 100 homes in this district, identified as having unique historic and architectural characteristics, it is assumed that the city would support our district plan through historic design review and code enforcement. However, since September 2020, our neighborhood has been watching both this homeowner and the city volley responsibility back and forth. Understandably, this is not the first time that there have been homeowners wishing to make changes, upgrades, and improvements of their property. On multiple occasions, homeowners, neighbors, and city planning staff have reached proposals that both serve the desires of the homeowner and the standards of the historic district, so we know it can be done. The John S. Park neighborhood would like to see this case closed. We encourage this homeowner to return their home to its original and historic exterior and to ensure that all improvements are within the city code. We hope that the city will create a strategy to inform all existing and future homeowners within any of the historic districts about the legacy of these places and the limitations that come with such unique and shared significance. And we as neighbors will continue to educate each other on the historic district plans and participate in the update of any design standards. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Jean Asmussen, 718 Park Paseo. This council, with the deciding last approval by Olivia Diaz back on September 7th, 22, granted this homeowner the generous opportunity to obtain permits and the following procedures to properly address work that had already been completed, altered, and installed. Olivia Diaz's view was that this be a win-win situation, has been manipulated and used by the owner to complete none of the promises. Info provided by owner has many times misrepresented actions, materials, used, changes made to the structures, which has resulted in his permits not being granted because they conflicted with requirements. I will be providing photos of a garage that he built on top of the existing, a roof that he built on top of the garage casita, that in spite of being told specifically he could not alter that roof, he did so. Harassment and intimidations of neighbors will be discussed by others. Parking enforcement has become a frequent visitor to our neighborhood because they have up to 10 cars regularly parked on the street, which rather than rotating along the two sides of his own property, he parks in front of other homeowners, making it very difficult for them to safely pull in and out of their driveways. We are sincerely requesting that after all the opportunities he's been given, this matter comes to a close, because I have been reported for a small shed I had on my property. As much as I dearly love my shed, and it was attached to the property when I moved in '82, I am taking it down following the rules in a timely fashion. This has been going on for far too long. Let me show you the photos. The camera is, refresh me?
You can just put it right there. Just move it right into the square.
Where the red light is.
Sorry, yeah, sorry, I always get nervous up here. So materials pulling in, 2x4s being raised up on the roof. The new
That looks upside
roof
down
being
to
built.
me. That's upside down, I think. There you
Sorry,
go.
you're not standing on your heads. The new roof being built on top of the structure, the plywood going up. The side that faces me, the day that they had the torch up there for the shingles, the edging that's still not finished. So that was, again, just another project that he was told at the beginning of the year he could not do, but he did anyways, just like all the other projects.
Thank you.
We would like to see this council respected, and a win-win situation does not mean he gets away with
Thank you.
his wishes.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Hi, my name is Catherine Ordaz. I live at 1226 South 8th Street. I am against the extension of time. The owners of 700 Park Paseo have not only been uncompliant when guided by multiple members of the neighborhood and council, but they've also not been following the rules and regulations put in place by the state while building and renovating their property, not only with their fence, but with the conversion of the garage into a casita and now the roof. These owners have not cared about the consequences and continue to stall to avoid making any changes or paying any fines that might be imposed upon them. I have witnessed them being untruthful in the past, specifically when creating the petition for the fence, in which they asked us to sign the petition without allowing us any time to read it. And then when we did read it, what they were telling us with their words was different than what was written on the paper, just showing that they're untruthful. I have been involved in this case for well over a year, and in that time there has been none of the intended changes or consequences placed upon the home, and we've witnessed even more unapproved changes, as she mentioned, the roof. They've had plenty of time to complete this task, but they will continue to find ways to stall if this doesn't end now. It may not seem like a huge deal to people who don't live in our neighborhood, but we choose our home because it's in a historic neighborhood. And Vegas is losing so much of its architectural history, and with all the recent demolitions and things like that, we just really want to see this be addressed. This is a chance to set a precedent with this address going forward for other properties who may try to pull the same stunts. This is not a family of someone who's just not knowing the rules. They know the rules. They continue to not follow them. And if y'all don't stop it, they're going to just keep wasting our time here and making us come here. And also, a lot of other neighbors didn't all get the postcard stating that we would be here talking about this today. So I'm not sure where that was being missed at.
Okay. Well, I think you're representing them very well, please. Thank you.
Good morning. Pat
Morning.
Robertson, 705 Park Paseo. As a senior citizen, I'm getting pretty disgusted at being attacked by these people. everyone who's rented there, who has lived there, who owns the 11 cars that are scattered around, as well as October of last year, October the 22nd, when my daughter was here from Mexico. Joe came over, confronted us, threatened us, because we had looked at his property. The only thing these extensions are doing is making a menace in our neighborhood. Within the last month, I was cursed out by one of their tenants for asking her not to park directly in front of my house, because my sister gets worried at nighttime that someone's out there looking to harm us. I'm not sure, I'd like to ask, is there any way to stop these people from the city? Because they've had so many extensions. This was going on for 3 years.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate your coming down. Anyone else wishing to make comment? And anything further on this from planning? No. Okay, any comments from council before I turn it over to Councilwoman Diaz? Okay, please, Councilwoman.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. First and foremost, I want to have Dr. Seabrandt and Mr. McCoy kind of come and state where we have been with this one property through HPC, through the denial. And I also want Dr. Seabrandt to address that she herself did educate the property owners about being in a historic neighborhood before any of this started. So Dr. Seabrandt, if you could come to the microphone, and then I have some questions for Mr. McCoy from Code Enforcement as well.
Thank you. Diane Seabrandt, for the record, the Historic Preservation Officer for the City of Las Vegas. This applicant came to our Historic Preservation Commission seeking, with a certificate of appropriateness, seeking the work that had already been done. This was already built. And our commission did deny it because it did not meet our guidelines and our Title 19 to keep the character of that historic neighborhood, to keep the integrity. We have educated the neighbors on the need for certificates of appropriateness and what can and cannot be done in a historic neighborhood. We've had several neighborhood meetings, and every time we have a list of new homeowners that are buying a home in either of our historic districts, that's Jonas Park and Beverly Green, we send them a letter welcoming them to the historic neighborhood and explaining the requirements for the Title 19 10150, as well as the certificate of appropriateness requirement and the requirement to adhere to those guidelines. We also have just updated and expanded on our guidelines for both those districts, and that is a document that will be approved at our next HPC meeting, which is in December, and we'll come before this council for final approval. So we are addressing the concerns of the neighbors, and again, this applicant, I've spoken to them and emailed them at least 6 or more times during the course of the time when this started, so they were aware of what was required of them.
Thank you, Dr. Seabrandt. And then could you also speak to our efforts as a city to inform new homeowners when they do buy in a historic neighborhood? We have 2 designated historic neighborhoods in Ward 3. Can you expand on what our efforts are to educate people when they purchase a home in our historic neighborhoods?
And Dr. Seabrandt, would you add to that request, please? Do they sign that they have read and will agree to adhere to those guidelines?
So we do send the letters, and they are provided the information within that letter. It gives them all of the websites that we have in order to connect them to the requirements that are posted on our website. Also, my contact information, my phone number, my email address, they can always call me. Madam Mayor, we do not have them sign that says that they have received that letter, but I'll speak with Director Floyd on implementing that.
Because I don't know what our legal has done with that, but the other piece too, is this facility, this home, on a lease, rent out, and is the home owner local or out of state? So those are pieces that we get them, I think it's a good idea that we have everybody, the owner of the property, sign that they've read it and they agree to adhere to it. But that's not for me, that's a legal issue.
Thank you, Mayor. Jeff Dornick, City Attorney. Certainly that's something that Mr. Floyd and his team can look into, whether it's signature or service by certified mail, if that's not already done. Ultimately, those aren't necessarily required. These are design, not guidelines, but these are the design rules that are the law of that historic neighborhood. And as we're seeing here, they are enforced, and you don't necessarily need to sign off on them, because when you move in, you know that that's what's in place, and those are the laws of the city.
Thank you. So just a consideration, if you'll announce yourself and your comments, please.
Madam Mayor, Eric McCoy, Code Enforcement Manager.
Mr. McCoy, what I would like you to do is kind of go through, if you have a list of code enforcement activity and actions that we have been scrutinizing this property. I know that every time the neighbors put in a complaint to us, we open a case, we go out, we then do all of the work that your field officers do, and then, so I just want you to kind of document from a, just chronicling when we started to engage with the property owners with code enforcement matters being brought to our attention, because I want the neighbors to be clear that when they call in, we are documenting their complaints, and then we do deploy code enforcement out. And then also, about the roof, I know that we've inquired from my office directly to find out about the situation of the roof, and you guys gave us an answer that said, well, it doesn't really trigger pulling a permit. So I just kind of want you to speak to the entirety of the code enforcement matters that we've been entertaining with this property.
Yes, ma'am. As far as the ownership, we had a case earlier in 2020. It went from September 2020 to August of 2021, and it was in reference to adding height to the side and rear walls of the property. The property is a corner property, so it's kind of odd to distinguish what is the front and what is the side. The front is 7th Street, the side is Park Paseo. In that case, height was added to the block walls, in which case they complied and they took down. There was no fines involved in that. The second case is this one, in which case more or less code is on pause until this matter is resolved, because what we would then pursue is the actual issuance of the permits or not. And as far as the garage conversion, it is listed in the notice and order as an item to have a permit. So whether that involves the interior and the exterior, that will be determined when they pull the permit. Now, I will say that I know Mr. Sanchez. I've worked with him for years. He's a good man. He's taken a lot of small projects that a lot of other engineers would not take. But on this particular one, twice I was concerned, and I called him directly. We have that relationship. I spoke to him March 22nd of 2022, explained to him I did not feel the case was moving along correctly. And then again, April 26th of 23, again, saying that the case was not moving along correctly.
So you spoke directly to the contractor both on March 2022 and April of this year?
April 26th of 23.
Of
My
this year.
supervisor's and I in a conference call with him.
All right. Do you have any of the information about the roof? Because I know that my team was checking in and we were hearing back that's not really a matter of concern. The percentage that they're working on it doesn't trigger a permit. Do you have, or is that building and safety that then knows more about the roof situation?
Well, under the permit process, if a portion of the roof is damaged, to make a repair, you do not require a permit. But what they're going to do, which is more or less put a new roof, is going to require a permit. So at the time of that call, I'm not really sure the exact details of that call, but it was understood it was a repair. I see now from these photographs and what have you that it's going to end up being covered under the permit for the garage conversion.
Okay. All right, so Mr. Sanchez.
Excuse me, Councilwoman,
yes, go
I
ahead.
have a couple of questions.
Go ahead, Mayor. Of code enforcement?
On this.
Go for it.
Within, and again, this probably goes back to legal, but in the historic neighborhoods, when citations or requests for code enforcement have been made, Are there consequences, and what can they be with non-compliance over a certain period of time? Is there a fine, or is that something that the neighborhood has no power over except through code enforcement? And of course, then it goes back to legal. If you don't have a consequence for improper action, then how do you enforce whatever? So I don't know if in all the documentation that we have, how the process goes from code enforcement back to management here. What do you do? And what is in these treasured neighborhoods that have worked so diligently to get a standard that they want to adhere to?
Yeah, so Mayor Seth Floyd, for the record, I think I can answer that. So the code enforcement remedies available to us are no different in this neighborhood than any other neighborhood. There is another layer of code that applies to these neighborhoods, which Eric and Diane described earlier. But there are basically two options with any code enforcement case. There is, and I'll let Eric expand on this if this doesn't fully answer it. We have a civil approach, which is we would issue a civil citation and could impose up to daily civil penalties. And for most code violations, we're capped under state law at $500 a day, but we can impose those penalties on a daily basis. There's also a criminal citation option, which we don't use as often, but it's available to us in our code that the citation could actually be criminal. The gist of that process is we issue the criminal citation. Owner would have to appear in court to explain whether they have complied with the notice and order, and if not, why not, and then the court can issue an order, an appropriate order to remedy the violation from there. Beyond that, we would be able to remove work that's been done without a permit once we have a warrant and bids and follow that process. But the civil and the criminal options are available to us here just as they are
with
throughout
a
the city.
timeline, if I may continue on it, with a timeline set by code enforcement or for compliance. That's the main thing. I mean, I think, how do you implement the consequence of non-compliance over a reasonable length of time?
Yeah, Mayor, I think it's a bit of a case-by-case basis. This one's, as Eric said, has been on pause because they took advantage of a remedy of coming to council, which not all of them do. But I'll let Eric speak to what the timelines typically are in code enforcement for a violation of this type.
So, ma'am, normally the NRS requires us to give 10 days with the notice and order. The notice and order being the heaviest document we have for enforcement. It informs the owner that if they don't remedy the problem, the city shall. And there isn't an appeal in that process.
Wow.
So after 10 days, something as simple as a property cleanup is a little bit more concrete as far as a timeline. But something like this, when you're dealing with engineers and builders, it's really based on progress. And we usually use milestones in such cases like this. Get a permit by this date, have inspections start by this date, and it should be reasonable. There's no sense in setting someone up for failure.
Right.
So we are gracious in the times. Usually we like to use 30-day windows because that seems to be a formula that works and it seems attainable. But sometimes it's pretty clear if the progress is being made or not, that we're not going to offer more time unless progress is made. So if you can imagine, if someone pulls a permit, we say we need to have the permit issued by this date. Okay, great, we're moving along. Next one is to have inspections start. So they'll have inspections. Certain items have various stages of inspections. 1 inspection, 2 inspection, and then a final. So something, a project like this, it would be have the permit issued and then proceed with the inspections.
Okay, thank you. I mean, I'd just be curious why they didn't comply on that timeline. If there's an answer to that might have bearing for you and them.
Very, very true, Mayor. Unfortunately, they're not here in person. I can't ask the Turleys directly, but Mr. Sanchez, I think, oh, I didn't see him come down.
Morning.
Hi, Joseph Turley, 700 Park Paseo.
Okay, so
if you could answer the mayor's question is,
with an effort from code enforcement to give you a timeline to do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, we did have a timeline. We had 120 days. We were going through the process, and we missed the 120 days. That's why we're here now to rectify this issue. We got all our plans in, we got all our permits in, we're looking for a little extension right now for the extension of the 120 days. We missed that window. And according to code, we did have an issue back in 2020 about the 7th Street is our front of our house, is the most nearest setback. So Park Paseo side would technically be our backyard. So this corner lot is kind of unique. I don't know how people deal, but with me, I want privacy with my family. And these permits, I'm talking.
Please, you spoke.
So
please.
7th Street would be our front of our house. Park Paseo is our back of our house. So 20-foot setback from the front of 7th Street would be our backyard. So I'm just looking for privacy. I'm looking for safety for my family. It's a pretty bad area with a lot of transients, and I've shown this council, houses that have 7-foot block walls as their backyard because that's what the look was back then. And I'm just looking for Park Paseo sizes.
Is there any reason, though, with the 120 days that you missed?
We're just looking for. We missed it because of the permit process. They're asking for a lot of little. What did they say?
And you had received all the documentation.
Everything's in right now
regardless of
for
only your backyard,
yeah.
that you knew what the conditions were in purchasing.
Yeah, we knew about but we still don't have clarity on the front of our house.
Okay.
Because the last council, it was
I get
Park
that.
Paseo, now it's 7th,
Okay.
I don't know where the front of our
But
house
if
is.
you own the whole property, you
Yes,
have
and
to
no one's
provide-
renting it, I live there,
Okay. Thank you. I
we-
think that's enough. I think you've answered that you were knowledgeable about what these requirements were. So back to you, Councilwoman. Thank you.
Mr. Turley, obviously, I live in a neighborhood, I live in a house. Most of them we're in today's economy, yes, we are sharing with 2 families sometimes. Maybe there's about 5 vehicles per house when there's a dual family situation. 11 vehicles at your home? 10 vehicles at your home? Can you please explain that? Because that's not adding up in my head, and it doesn't seem very honest and truthful to say that you're living in your house with 11 vehicles in the adjacency.
So I don't think it's 11 vehicles. It's more like 6 or 7.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know where this 11 vehicles came through.
There's a lot of...
What
you're articulating is not matching up to what my staff is reporting, what the community is saying.
Could you clarify what is not adding up? The cars, 11 or 7?
You were very clear last time when you were before me, back in 22.
Okay.
I said, I am giving you the window of opportunity to rectify what you needed to rectify in terms of the fence.
Exactly.
Did you do that?
No.
Yes or no? Did you rectify the fence?
Can I?
No. Yes or no? Did you take care of the fence?
We didn't get a permit. How can we start breaking things down?
Mr. Floyd, is that accurate about needing a permit to rectify?
If we have a permit, I'll take it down.
So Seth Floyd, for the record, a permit's not required to reduce the height of the fence. The permits are for the garage conversion.
So, Mr. Turley, you could have fixed the fence already, because that was, I think, what I was trying to get to. That was the reconciliation that I went on a limb to facilitate you and your wife so that the neighbors would at least have a fence they could live with, but you didn't even take care of that.
Okay, go ahead.
It's my turn.
Go ahead.
My turn to talk. I gave you the window of opportunity. I went out on a limb for you. I gave you 120 days to get that done, and then also pull the permits for the work that then you went on to do without having the permits. Now, how do you explain that? We have no wins.
Go ahead.
And you expect us to just be like, it's okay, just continue to do business as usual. You don't need the permits. Come back and ask for how do you, now I'm so, and you're kind of basically saying you're asking for forgiveness after the fact, but you basically lambasted and worked through the process.
I did not lambaste or work through any process. The process is set through those permits. So you guys want the same material throughout. I get it. I have to do a lot of work to cut the fence down and do all the same material. But I was told by my engineer that we need the permits first, and we got step-by-step process to actually do the work. So I can't cut things out until I have the permits. Once we have the permits and we have a site plan, we know what we have to do exactly, and then you guys agree on that, I will do everything that's on the site plan. Because I know you guys want all the same material throughout. So there's cinder blocks out there, you guys want the same material, so I have to take all the wood off to match everything to go forward. I can't do that until I have the permits. And I'm asking for 120 days so I can get the permit. I'm asking for an extension from the original 120 days so I can do this. And this will be done within 3 months. If I get the permits today, or when you guys approve the permits, and I know what the fence will look like, so it'll be one cohesive flow is what you guys want for my backyard, I will do it. Once I have my permits done and I know what I have to do, I will do it within 60 days. Whatever you guys give me, like, I'll do it. I just need to get the permits, like, you know, issued. I need a permit first. I can't do anything. My hands are tied until I have my permits. I want to get it done. I don't want to drag this on.
I don't know. It seems like you have been dragging your feet, because if our code enforcement has been engaging with your contractor, that was a sign that the city needed you to accelerate and complete this work. But I do see Dr. Seabrandt shaking her head. Dr. Seabrandt, if you can just share with us what is untrue about what has just been articulated.
Diane Seabrandt for the record. So these homeowners have been told repeatedly and what they need to do. The permits that they have submitted were incomplete. I have a timeline here that shows this. So on November 18th of 2020, they were advised that they were required to complete and submit the certificate of appropriate application. Again, by December 1st, they did not submit the proper paperwork, and they were told again to submit the certificate of appropriateness application. Again, they did not do this. They were told again on March 23rd of 2021. They did have a different contractor during that time, and the contractor and that contractor and this homeowner were advised of these. The contractor they have now was also advised, and that was in November 29th of 2021. They are advised again on February 9th of 2022. They are advised again on April 21st of 2023. That's when they finally submitted the certificate of appropriate application. They appeared before the HPC on April 25th, and then that is when their certificate of appropriateness was denied and when they came to City Council. As far as claiming that the 120 days is not enough time to submit a permit is not accurate. I have permits submitted that I have to review constantly, and those are usually done within a week or at the very most a few weeks. So for those 120 days, when they did not submit the permits, and when they did submit it, and I have that timeline as well. So they submitted an incomplete permit on January 19th, and this was 10 or 12 days after the required 120 days. They were told that they needed to submit the proper permit or the proper paperwork and the missing materials. They again submitted on May 4th of 2023, but again it was incomplete. They were advised again to submit the required paperwork and all the required materials. They submitted again on August 8th of 2023. Again, it was incomplete. They again were advised that they needed to submit the proper materials. On September 12th, the owners did finally submit a completed permit, but it was denied because it was over the 120 days. That was part of the review of conditions that this council initially gave them.
Thank you, Dr. Seabrandt. I did see, I know that Councilman Knudsen wants to offer some comments, but I know that there was some page that Mr. Sanchez wanted to share, but I'll go to Councilman Knudsen and then we'll see where we go from there.
Thank you, and I appreciate all the time that we're putting in on this. And Councilwoman Diaz, I respect your decision, whatever it's going to be. I'll support you because it's your neighborhood and understand it better than I do. I just want to comment that this is an enormous amount of time for this council to spend on your fence, and you've already been here before. We've already gone through this. I would just prefer to end this and not deal with your fence anymore. I think there's far more important issues for the city to deal with.
Any other, Councilman Creer?
Thank you. I'm really perplexed with the last time you were here that you didn't sense the urgency that the council gave you to get what you need to get done. It seems as though, and like Mayor Pro Temp, I'm going to follow the lead of my colleague on this issue, but I just don't understand how you haven't made progress. And then, you know, when you do something, it sounds as though, and I'm not there, that you haven't been the best neighbor to your neighbors, and that is something that we all want to, you know, ensure that our neighbors work together and they come together, and if there's been support from the neighbors on this, then you know, there's a way to work through it.
Yeah.
You bought a home within a historic preservation area for someone that's born and raised here and has lived and know the area well, know the history of the area, living in a historic area myself. You know, that's something that a lot of research, I think we said this before, that there's a lot of research that should go into when you purchase a home and you know what's going in. It seems like we have provided you with an ample, going back to 2020, of things you needed to comply with. You did not, for whatever reason. I'm not judging you, but you didn't. And it seems like, as the Mayor Pro Tem says, we're putting a lot of time into this when this shouldn't be something that we should be spending as much time on. So
I agree.
I'm going to support my colleague, but it doesn't sound like you've been playing nice in the sandbox and just dragging your feet on this for whatever reason.
No, I just care for get our permits, or I can take the fence down if Councilwoman gives me more time. I'll do whatever the site plan is. I'll do it. I thought I needed the permits before I start work. That's what the whole reason why we were here. I just didn't want to cut it down unless we have the permits, and I wanted to get my permits approved before I start work, because it's pricey to cut metal down to 5 feet for where it's at now. It's pricey to cut concrete. It's pricey for wood nowadays. All the material went up. I just want a set permit and something to go off of, so I can give my contractor the right material or permits that he has to use, so I can go forward and using the same material throughout. I want to abide by it, but I want to get the permits done. I mean, I realize that we definitely lack on the permits.
Thank you. Let's turn this over, please, to Councilwoman.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. You missed your window. I went out on a limb for you and your wife last time, saying, I'm going to buck what the HPC denied. I'm going to give you 120 days, and I want you to work the way that you should have started working in the beginning. And now you want me to continue to kick the can down the road, allow you to not follow the process, not follow the guidelines. We're in a historic neighborhood, and it is expected that you go through HPC and that we issue you that certificate of appropriateness, and then you proceed to do whatever changes you want to your home, not backwards. Then, okay, you said, oh, we didn't know, oh, we're new, oh, we did front, back, side, I don't know, we're confused. After 3 years, I know your case. You can't hide behind the fact that you didn't know anymore after 3 years. If I have all these things flying through my office, project-wise, and I can articulate your situation, you as a homeowner better know what is expected from the city. So, I am not going to approve it. There is going to be a denial, and now you're going to have to start the process going back to HPC.
Okay.
So that is my motion, and I want code enforcement to be on this house, making sure that we are going to then ensure that they are going to be moving forward and complying with our process.
Yes, ma'am.
And that is your motion to deny the request.
Correct. And Mr. Turley, a lot of folks are confused because you look nothing like what you used to look like. So a lot of them are saying, is that even you?
I lost weight. I'm sorry. I want to live life.
Oh, whoa, please.
My hair is, I cut my hair. I'm sorry.
I know that.
Gastric sleeve. I'm sorry.
So, Mr.
Okay.
Sanchez, you
All right,
can validate
please.
that this is the property owner that you've been working with all
Yeah,
along?
I didn't know who it was when I first saw him too, but.
Okay. All right,
I
there's
just
a
like
motion,
to-
if I may. I
Okay.
think we've had enough, and the motion's been made to deny the request. If that is the term, that's it.
And also,
And please
Mr.
vote,
Floyd,
and
can
please
you,
post.
once we take this vote, can you just articulate what code enforcement's task is to ensure that we follow through on code enforcement action? So denial, he needs to remove the things, he has no permits. What does that mean? I need you to articulate that on the record, please.
Yeah, thank you, Councilwoman Seth Floyd, for the record. So we do have an open code enforcement case, as Eric mentioned. That case will continue and restart. Those options that I referred to on the civil versus criminal penalties are options that we will have available as a next step, and that can start right away. I'll let Eric probably knows the up to the minute on the case if he wants to add anything to that, but the code case will restart, and we have all the tools that I laid out available to ensure compliance.
Any other comment? No.
No, ma'am. What I'll do is I'll reach out to the gentleman tomorrow after today settles, and then we'll come up with a plan to remedy the violations surrounding the property.
Okay, and if you'd post the vote, please. And the motion is denied.
Thank you.
The request has been denied. Okay, so we'll move on, and sorry about that, but there are consequences, so thank you all for coming down on this, and we'll move on to agenda item 37, 230358DR1, public hearing, applicant of City of Las Vegas, possible action on a report by Seth Floyd, Director of Community Development, regarding the implementation of the City of Las Vegas 2050 Plan, all wards. Planning Commission and staff recommend approval, and this is a public hearing, which I declare open. So I know what you're going to do, please.
I might say a few words, but then I am going to kick it to Marco, who is the lead on all things master plan. As you know, we adopted our master plan a couple of years ago, and work started in earnest on implementing the components of that master plan. It is such a, and I should have brought a copy, but as you know, Mayor, it is such a hefty document that is not something you can get through in a year. In fact, it's designed to live on for about 30 years. So every year we make progress, though, towards those goals that were identified in the plan, and we update you at that year mark on what those goals are, what the trends are, where things are headed, the progress we've made, areas we need to make additional progress, and it's also an opportunity. I wanted to remind the council of this as well. We reminded the Planning Commission. It's also your opportunity to comment on what we're working on and give us feedback. If you have other things that you believe we should be working on, or you're seeing other trends, this would be that opportunity to pass that along so that we can dig into those as well. So I have some materials that, as Marco gets started, I'm going to pass out. It's the hard copies of the presentation and our bound copy of the annual update, and I was supposed to, that's my fault. Marco told me to pass those out before the meeting, and I forgot, so that's not his fault, but I'm going to do it now. So I'll turn it over to Marco.
You're a tough act, that's why. All right, go for it, please, and your name for the record.
Sure. Thank you. Good morning, Madam Mayor, members of the City Council. Marco Vallada, Planning Project Manager with the City of Las Vegas Community Development Department, for the record. So the report that Seth is passing out, as he described, is a part of the overall implementation activities from Planning Commission through our NRS 278 planning statute, and the intent behind this is to provide a review for your purposes, recommendations for the City Council to follow for implementing the plan. Of course, you have excellent guidance and information from the executive team, from the city manager's office, and from the department directors, but this is another supplemental guide for the master plan for you to consider going into budget season, going into capital improvement project planning, and it aligns with the strategic plan that's been previously adopted, which of course your priorities are public safety, healthcare, and economic diversification. So all of these together are to consider where we're at in the process of implementing the plan in specifics. I'll give you a little bit of a brief overview and highlight of the contents of it, but again, the idea is in terms of implementing the goals and getting towards that city vision, you can of course adopt regulations and policies. There's things that the city does in each of its departments. We can build capital projects such as the Civic Plaza across the street, or street and highway improvements. We could pursue federal state legislative policy, and then, of course, collaborate with our other local public entities, RTC, SNWA, so on and so forth. The outcomes that were adopted in the master plan are intended to provide those benchmarks. And we take a look at these every year to see how well we have been doing or if there needs to be improvement in certain areas. So I won't cover all of them in this, but within this report, which is available on our website at masterplan.vegas, we have an overall outline of where we are, and I'll touch on a couple of the highlights. So you do know that as you get cases in front of you, each city council and its planning commission gets cases. We do get a lot of development. This plan is intended to be infill and redevelopment oriented, but at the same time, we're also mindful that we're developing in areas such as Kyle Canyon and La Madre Foothills in the northwest, Summerlin West, and other places in wards 4, 2, and 6. But the idea is going forward, there will be more attention paid to the major corridors such as Maryland Parkway, Charleston Boulevard, Decatur Boulevard, Eastern Avenue, where we have major federal funding allocated, or we're pursuing federal funding to make transit-oriented development happen in line with what RTC has been planning for us. Most of the development that's occurred has been in the northwest, but again, we're looking at other parts of the city, and doing that, we've done special area planning. This council adopted the East Las Vegas, the Nuestro Futuro Este Las Vegas special area plan, and of course we had the downtown master plan already adopted. We're going to be starting up on a couple others this next year that have been funded, including for Charleston, Twin Lakes, and West Las Vegas. And then we are working right now with Councilwoman Alan Polensky and Councilwoman Bruni on Kyle Canyon and La Madre Foothills because they have been seeing so much growth. In terms of land use and environment and those outcomes, we've adopted the Imagine LV Parks system plan. That again provides some guidance on where future parks are going to be going, and again through Steve Ford and Mike Jansen's and their leadership, we have a pretty good idea over the next couple of years of where SNPLMA requests might be going, especially in the Northwest. Getting there will take a number of years, but this document helps get us there. We've been doing a lot of tree planting. We actually received an Inflation Reduction grant that will be in front of council for approval here as soon as we get USDA clearance, but we've already planted about 2,000 trees. We actually planted another 18 yesterday at Chuck Minker Sports Complex with Impact NV, and Brad Dassler and the Parks and Rec team, our urban forester, has done a really good job of finding places where we can put infill trees, and the idea is to take it to the next level to get the urban heat island effect a little bit more under control. In terms of economic development, again, we've had a lot of issues with respect to inflation over the last year. No need to belabor that. Of course, that has been a concern, but we have been working with our other partners like GOED, LVGEA, on where we can strengthen our economic diversification efforts. We have had the projects underway in the Las Vegas Medical District. We've had a number of new facilities that have opened up over the last year in conjunction with the School of Medicine, and going forward, we're looking at continuing on that momentum there to really help out the healthcare sector. With respect to housing, the council in January adopted incentives for affordable housing production. We did note that we saw an increase in the homeless population, but again, as we add more affordable housing units, which we desperately need, and housing continues to be a major subject citywide, region-wide, having these types of incentives in hand should help encourage more housing to be developed, especially along those transit-oriented corridors. We know that that's really important. I mean, more than 30% of residents are spending half their money on housing and transportation combined. I mean, that's a major issue, and housing and transportation go hand in hand. So the improvements that we make with respect to housing policy and the improvements that we make with respect to transportation, those should be going together to help improve spending and quality of life for residents. We've had a number of projects that have completed, including Las Vegas Boulevard and the Complete Street project. We have a number of others that are underway that we're going to be looking at. Of course, Stewart Avenue and the Complete Street project that we received federal money for. The RTC transit system, as many of you probably know, is getting to a point where coverage and frequencies might look a little bit different in the next couple of years due to some of the funding constraints that RTC has. However, there has been pursuit of capital projects like Charleston Boulevard, where you have a lot of transit ridership and a lot of frequency to help improve that corridor and make it more walkable, more bikeable, and more friendly for the residents that live nearby. We've had a lot of sustainability wins. Of course, AB 220 and AB 356 have really gone a long way to reducing overall water consumption. We've had a really good water year this last year. It's looking like El Nino will also similarly provide some cushion to both Lake Mead and Lake Powell. But our water conservation ordinance that the council adopted in August again reinforces the notion that we need to continue doubling down on conserving our most precious resource and working with SNWA to make sure that we reduce overall water consumption in light of the drought. We have a number of those new facilities that are in planning or under construction, including across the street. Fire Station 46 just recently opened, and there's a number of other fire stations and facilities that are listed in the capital improvement plan for the next fiscal year and the fiscal years to come. So in terms of recommendations, we had a few things that came up during Planning Commission, again, with respect to affordable housing, continuing to work on that and some of the policy that the legislature talked about. We're going to continue to look at how we address housing in general. We also got an inquiry about electric vehicle charging. We have been working on trying to improve the access to EV charging throughout the city at city facilities, but also looking at ways we can improve code and safety requirements with respect to EV charging. Is something that building and safety would have purview over. We'll continue working on some of those things as Planning Commission had asked us about, and again, we'll leave those for your consideration as well when the time comes. Again, we have a number of things that will be opening up here in the next year that we'll report on in the next report. But in terms of some other upcoming projects, of course, we've been working with Public Works on Vision Zero and a lot of the great work that Joey Paskey and the Public Works team have been doing with respect to transportation safety improvements. There will be a mobility master plan update that will, again, similar to the Parks plan, we hope to integrate into this as part of into the master plan as part of the transportation and the master plan of streets and highways update. We will hopefully get a little bit more down the road on Maryland Parkway as far as that being the next transit corridor that RTC breaks ground on, as well as Charleston Boulevard. And going hand in hand with that is TOD zoning that we hope to have a workshop with you on at a later date to really complement the land use and the transportation component. And looking at things like parking standards. I know that's been something that's been requested before. How do we right-size standards within Title 19 to make sure that there's a good balance and an appropriate amount of parking that's supplied for the uses where they make the most sense. And to keep track on all of this going forward, we have been working with IT on developing a dashboard to track all of these outcomes and all the things that are related to the master plan, just so you can see progress over time. And what you'll ultimately have is a digital version of those outcomes, so you can see the progress that's been made over time with respect to those master plan outcomes that we want to see long term. We're going to continue working on those major IIJA, the Infrastructure Bill and Inflation Reduction Act grant requests. We've already received quite a bit for some of those projects, or we've been working with our regional partners, and we'll continue to keep the council updated on some of the things that we've applied for. Again, there's a lot of funding that's been made available from the federal government. This is very similar to how the Recovery Act played out over a decade ago. we'll continue to pursue those opportunities and add that funding in as it relates to the master plan and some of these priorities that the council has talked about. So that if there's any questions or if there's anything that you'd like the comprehensive planning team to work on, we'd be more than happy to take that in consideration, and we'll advise you along the way how things are going with respect to plan implementation, and if there's any questions, I'm more than willing to answer them.
Okay, thank you. Great report from the start. You've done a really yeoman's job here and so comprehensive. I'm going to save my comments to the end, so we'll start here. Mayor Pro Tem, with you, please.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Mr. Valletta. This is always my favorite topic to add comments on. So my first one, maybe it's just a bullet point. I don't think there's answers to my questions. I just find them curious, and I think it's important to put it out there. On the electric vehicle charging stations, with the residents that I represent, I think a lot of them live in apartment complexes and older homes that are never going to be able to support in-home charging, and I'm getting more and more anxious about when those cars do become affordable, how are the people in my ward going to take advantage of that? And so I think that's something to put on the radar, is how we cooperate with the gas station companies that come in, or NV Energy or other partners, in making sure that we have access for people who in 10 years from now are probably going to need that. The second one is our ability to connect our vision through the 2050 master plan with our surrounding partner agencies. And so the example that I gave you is, while we're planting trees, Clark County School District cut down like 25 trees at one of the school sites that I represent. And so I just want to make sure that we have some way of communicating our intention to the surrounding partner agencies that have overlapping jurisdiction, because it's fruitless for us to plant trees while they cut down trees. And so I don't know how that happens, but I think there's opportunity in there, and kind of sharing what our priorities for this board, so that other boards understand that and hopefully act accordingly. And then the thing that makes me most concerned right now, and you brought it up with the transit, is as our community is evolving or changing, and we can't predict exactly how it's going to evolve, how are we able to be nimble enough with our planning efforts? And I'm specifically thinking about transit and the opportunity for transit, because I've been pushing on less parking for more transit. But in fact, if we have less transit in the future, then that changes the parking conversation completely. So how are we able to be nimble enough to respond to our changing partners' situation? And I think I don't have an answer for that. I think it's just something that we need to be aware of and be nimble enough to be and adjust. Or we need to be standing arm in arm, shoulder in shoulder with them, fighting for transit, for example, fighting for trees. We can't do it alone, because it's within the jurisdiction of our other partners as well. So great job, and we need to be nimble and thinking about 20 years from now, and that's what this is about. So thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Bruni? You're good? Comments here? Councilman Carrier, anything at this moment? Councilwoman Polensky?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'll keep them brief, but Mr. Valletta, it's been a pleasure working with you with La Madre Foothills and the planning. You've been doing an exceptionally good job being a communicator between myself and the Smith Group, who is our contracted folks taking us through this process. I really appreciate everything you do, and I look forward to continuing working with you.
Thank you.
Councilwoman,
I just want to say ditto. Like, you do amazing work throughout all wards, helping us achieve the vision that we want to kind of see materialized down the road. And so really appreciative of all of your efforts, because I know that we have to have the end in mind in order for us to continue to work towards that goal. So thank you so much. And then can you tell what we recently received?
Yes, so there was a recent announcement through the U.S. Department of Agriculture that the City of Las Vegas was among the Nevada recipients of a $5 million community forestry grant. And we had the Undersecretary Social Torres, I believe, Torres Small, from Washington, D.C. to come do a ceremonial tree planting. We had Representatives Titus and Horsford on hand for that as well at East Las Vegas Community Center to make the announcement nationwide, because this was funding that came out throughout the entire country. It goes hand in hand with some of the legislation that was passed through at the state level that complements it through Assembly Bill 131. And we're, again, looking at all the ways that we can get our city facilities and our neighborhoods trees where they're needed the most to help mitigate that urban heat island effect.
I couldn't agree more with every compliment that's been pushed your way, and certainly echo them. What continues to haunt me all the time as we work on our homeless or unhoused population, what nobody ever talks about are those that are housing resistant. I don't know how you incorporate it. It has to do with enhancing and communicating well with all representatives. We do have the element of those who have been hospitalized and no place to go when they come out. We certainly have been working diligently with our seniors and our veterans, but there are elements of the unhoused that will not come in for help. There's recycling through the criminal justice system, and that needs to be addressed. Everybody is working on housing for those who are ready to be housed, but we have an entire growing population of those who are housing resistant and are law resistant or are totally incapable of taking care of themselves. And so this is an entire population which you see around the country, if not around the world, but being concerned here with our community and our city, there has to be something here, because we can talk and get support for building apartments, but we're never getting any comment. How can we help those who maybe have had issues of mental illness, and how are we going to help them? The drug addict that will not come in, those recycling, as I say, in and out of the criminal justice system. What are we doing with that population, which the cost alone to try to work through issues that are brought to the table are astronomical, and we've gotten nowhere. So I'd like to see, and I don't know where you put that into this plan, but as we educate in STEM, it's great, but where are the people that are going to have the compassion to care and get out there and be involved with those who really can't take care of themselves and are part of the whole population? So that's a piece that I don't know how you compartmentalize it, but you can't turn your cheek away from looking at this population is there. And then, of course, you have all those young people who run away from somewhere and come out here to be anonymous. And what are we doing there to help them not be trafficked? So there are pieces there, more of the social side, I guess, the human side, and this, your work has been phenomenal, and it speaks to a glorious future, attending to the needs, as Mayor Pro Tem said, of transportation, and then autonomous vehicles, and what do the people do who no longer have a job? Something, there's got to be some little address that we understand it, we know it's there, and we're doing something. So I think it's great what you've done. I love to look at it all the time. I have it, and as Mr. Floyd said, it's very cumbersome to carry around in my car, and it gets torn all over the place. So, but great work, just great work, Marco.
Thank you.
And we thank you so much.
Thank you.
So do we need a motion to accept?
Yes, this is an action item. Motion, please.
Okay, please, Mayor Pro Tem.
Madam Mayor, move to approve.
Thank you. This motion to approve, and that's agenda item, where are we, 37. Please vote and please post. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay, we're at a point now, goodness gracious, to ask our city clerk to set the public hearing dates and appeals for city planning commission meetings, dangerous buildings, or nuisance litter abatements.
Will do.
Thank you very much. And now we will go into our final citizen participation. Citizen participation, public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters within the jurisdiction of the council. No subject may be acted upon by the city council unless the subject is on the agenda and scheduled for action. If If you wish to be heard, please come to the podium, give your name for the record, the amount of discussion on any single subject, as well as the amount of time any single speakers allowed may be limited. This is your opportunity to address council, but the council is not able to respond or engage in dialogue. Anyone who is ready to come speak under this portion of the agenda. Good afternoon again. And
good morning.
we'll set you at 3 minutes, but if you went over, we don't.
Yes, thank you very much, Council. I was already here, so I might as well keep going. My name is Ray Lathrop. I live at 1302 South 6th Street, and I serve as the president of the Jonas Park neighborhood. I think in light of actually the conversation around 2050 master plan, I wanted to bring attention to a growing challenge within our neighborhood that is important to every single neighbor that I speak to. We were recently informed that the Walgreens pharmacy and store on the southeast corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Charleston will be closing, and this comes only a few months after the Wells Fargo Bank on that same block has closed. The future of these buildings and many other existing vacant properties, including a motel catty corner from that block, and a growing number of vacant lots, are just a huge, major concern for our neighborhood. We're really concerned that we're in the midst of a drastic period of both exodus and disinvestment from downtown, coupled with speculation from landowners and investors in those same buildings and many lots without any intention of development. This will only become a significant drain on many of the city's services, even with neighbors spending so much time trying very hard to be vigilant about these properties. We see that these abandoned properties eventually become boarded up and, as you all know, burned down. At a time when our neighborhood is becoming one of the most desirable places to live, with a thriving and a very active neighborhood association, I'm looking for some solutions. We would like to see more regular visits from the MORE team to care for our unhoused neighbors that are finding refuge in these properties. We'd like to see a regular report of service from all departments of the city responsible for their security. So that's code, marshals, operations and maintenance, fire, building inspections. And for both of those responses, we'd really like to see a report alongside the consequences to property owners who are responsible for these parcels. We are not getting enough information about what's happening and who is spending time and how much of our public dollars are being spent on these properties. We would also really like to collaborate with city departments to create an economic development strategy for our area that encourages the compact and vibrant urban environment identified in the 2050 master plan and the form-based code within the Founders and Gateway districts outlined in the 2045 master plan, downtown master plan. We want to be stakeholders and partners in this process. We think that we have some valuable input, and we also don't want development to be proposed that will just be, denied by the neighborhood or pushed back by the neighborhood. We want really seamless and quick development within what an area that kind of looks empty right now. So thank you very much.
Very helpful. Thank you. Anyone else, please come forward, state your name for the record.
Madam Mayor, Daniel Braisted, B-R-A-I-S-T-E-D. I first want to commend everybody, and we heard the accolades Monday night for the Mario's grocery store. It was a monument effort of everybody, and it's a great addition to our neighborhood down there. But I'm concerned very much, and not enough is being done about safety. The director of the FBI is warning that at any time, people could just turn and pull a Hamas like they did in Israel. I mean, just review all the people that have snuck into this country that we don't know where they are. Palestinians, people from China, people from Hamas, people from Palestine, Russia, young men from Venezuela. And we don't know where they are. Now, I'm asking that this council, for the next meeting, prepare a resolution that we can give to our federal representatives and say, shut the border down. It's illegal. What's happening? The masses and masses of it, they're coming in, and it's a mess, and we don't know where they are. Well, I think we have, 80,000 children that we don't know where they are, and we're starting to find them working at 2 o'clock in the morning at different places. I mean, I know most of you are Democrats, and I think it's time that you go to your leaders and say, we screwed up. We have too many illegals with bad intentions, a lot of them good, but that can't come in legally through the front door. And now we're worried about housing, and New York City is having trouble paying. They're going to massive debt. The amount of money that we're paying out that we don't even have for our veterans to give to them. People are coming across the border and they get a check, they get a travel card, and they get this and that. I'm going, who's in charge here? And those of you who are Democrats need to step up and challenge your leaders to say, shut the border down and then start deporting people. We can't afford it. Am I the only one that sees that? I'm asking for a resolution for the next meeting to find out who is in support of shutting the border down and who isn't. Because when they do strike, everybody's going to go, oh, I didn't know. So the director of FBI is warning us now. He should have been speaking up a long time ago. Thank you. I appreciate all the time. Take care.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, I'm going to close our public comment, and we'll move on to agenda item 40, which is council member emerging issues. Do we have issues, councilwoman and councilman? Anything? No? Here? Yes? We have an issue. Please.
The grace period's over, Mr. Jansen. It's now it's an emerging issue. The question I have, I wanted this council to know I've been working on a house in Ward 1 that was incredibly complicated, much to like the comments that were spoken about. The Shawnee house just sold, so we was notified this morning that Shawnee house sold. I think the process for how the city approached it was interesting, challenging, complicated, and hopefully we have a better outcome. But I would love to see if we can get either internal briefings or a presentation on how the city is going to approach some of these dilapidated properties. And my ward is mostly residential. There's obviously businesses that are challenged throughout our community, and it challenges the city on how we approach the private sector and their property to make it a better environment. So I don't know what the outcome is. I think it's worth continuing the conversation, and if you can update us on your progress, because I know you've done a lot on this, as has every other city department, but I think it's time to start talking about what our outcomes will look like. So thank you.
Thank you, and I would love to add to that, Mr. City Manager. What are we doing as I drive around downtown and do see this vacant property, and I understand it because it was Henderson that was just the draw, then it became this Southwest. Meanwhile, we're up in the Northwest with a particular draw. What is being done beyond the city confines or even on our part to support and get the word out on the availability in economic development? What are we trying to sell? We know certainly the medical district, and that's very area and career-wise specific in a million areas. But how about in Ward 3 and in Ward 5? What are the goals on these vacant little pockets, and how many can we make into pocket parks, and where are they going to go? But really, what is the effort in economic development specific in the city?
Mayor Goodman and Mayor Pro Tem Mike Jansen, City Manager. It's very good timing that you're bringing that question up, Mayor Goodman. In fact, a couple of weeks ago, I had a conversation with Seth about doing a little research on the vacant properties throughout the city, how much vacant land is left in the city. As you know, we are unlike some of the other entities that has a lot of land still to develop. We're running out of land other than Summerlin West and some of the properties in the Northwest. What we do have throughout many of our older wards is a number of parcels that are vacant. And the idea behind that analysis is to determine, okay, based on what's available, how can we work with our economic development team or redevelopment team and come up with a strategy on which parcels do we want to focus on first second, third, and try to approach those property owners, work with some of our developer partners, and see how do we see those vacant lots change from vacant to an actual project. So timing is perfect on that, Mayor, and my intention is to have a council briefing on what that looks like on the acreage and on the strategy. And then, Mayor Pro Tem, we've talked about all the data sets that we have that can help us better manage some of those abandoned buildings where they become a public nuisance. And similarly, on an upcoming council briefing item, we're going to show you how we've been pulling all that data together and how we're going to try to make use of it to leverage it and not have one department working sort of in a silo where another department has information that could help us. So that's actually being worked on by Michael Sherwood, and again, as I mentioned, our intention is to bring forward to you the strategy that we feel will help us on both fronts.
Wonderful. Because I know when you do look, and of course this morning's commentary about the property right there, Ward 3, Charleston and Las Vegas Boulevard, to me the prices should be much less than way out in the outskirts. And with the center of government down here, for at least another couple of years, the state building, the federal building, the Supreme Court building, the county building, the city building, the center of government, the jails, everything is downtown and all roads connect here. So these properties, plus with the medical district and everything else that we're looking at, should become just, we got to get the word out. So, and I think it's really important, especially for those who've chosen to live down here and are loving the access to everything else. So, and with the beautified Las Vegas Boulevard, so nicely done and looking good when the rest of the place is all torn up. So thank you very much. All right, we're going to go to council member recognition. Comments made by individual city council members during this portion of the agenda will not be acted upon by the city council unless the subject's on the agenda and scheduled for action. So I know we all have it, and Councilman Creer, I was going to start with him, but as you can see, he had to take a break. So now, if he isn't in here by the time I count, one, there he is. Boy, did he know. All right, you're first up. How about that? But you can't leave because we will have private meeting after.
Yes, well, let me get going.
So I thought,
because I know we don't want to miss the private meeting.
Yes.
Classes for computer basics for seniors will be held on Tuesday, November the 7th and Tuesday, November the 14th at the Strong Free Technology Center located at 330 West Washington. Classes are free, but registration is required. For more information, please call 702-236-2114. Our next community conversations will take place on Thursday, November 30th at Grits Cafe, located 1911 Stella Lake Street from 9 to 10:30 a.m. Please come and have a conversation with me and our team to discuss matters important to you. Residents and businesses are welcome to join in the conversation. For more information, please contact my office, 702-229-5443. No School Fun Day. The Doolittle Community Center, located at 1950 J Street, and Dula Community Center, located at 451 East Bonanza Road, will host No School Fun Days for ages kindergarten to 8th grade. These days will be fun days filled with recreation and enrichment. These are other locations throughout the other wards as well. For more information, please contact 702-229-7529. Operation Warmth is back, and 23, we are kicking it off. We are collecting new and gently used coats, sweaters, hoodies, beanie caps, socks, gloves to help keep those at the Courtyard Homeless Resources Center warm this winter. The deadline to turn in items is Friday, December the 1st, and we will distribute the clothing on Saturday, December the 9th. Drop-off locations are in the lobby of the City Hall, West Las Vegas Library, Second Baptist Church, Nehemiah Ministries Christian Church, and St. James the Apostle Catholic Church. For more information, please call 702-229-2330. Please save the date. A brand new library is going to be built from the ground up in the historic West Side. We will celebrate the groundbreaking of the new West Las Vegas Library on Friday, December 1st at 10 a.m. at 1861 North Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard inside the Enterprise Park. We are very excited about this project and hope you'll join us. For more information, contact my office, 702-229-5443. And on an extremely sad note, I regret to announce that we lost 3 community icons who made an absolutely huge difference in our community. Former Assemblyman Harvey Mudford was an educator as well and passed away on Thursday, October 26th. He served many years in Nevada State Assembly. He was recently inducted into the historic Westside Legacy Park, and the City Council approved renaming Sunny Place Street to Harvey Mudford Street during the October 19, 2022 City Council meeting. His services will be held at Palm Mortuary Downtown and Cemetery on Friday, November the 11th, and Saturday, November the 12th. Also, we lost Audrey James, who was 109 years old, passed away on October the 29th. She was the oldest living school teacher from the West Side School, and she recently participated in the Great West Side School Centennial Parade, which was held on Saturday, September the 30th. And then last, someone that I've known my entire life, it seems, is Barry Becker. Mr. Becker served on the UNLV Board of Trustees for many years, passed away yesterday. He was actively engaged as a trustee. Mr. Becker passed away. He was a UNLV Foundation trustee since 2007, very actively engaged in work of several committees, including audit and development, real estate. Huge family, long history within our city. Developers, Charleston Heights area, Charleston Heights Company. Just that picture is of him at the Becker Technical, the Ernest and Betty Becker Technical Center Recreation Park that we named after his family and his parents on April the 1st. Our prayers go out to his wife Sue, Danny and Randy, who I grew up with, and their brother Newbie, who preceded his father in death, and the entire Becker family. And there are extensive number of family members who are in this community, and we give our heartfelt condolences to you and praying for Godspeed. Once again, my office is always available. You can subscribe to our newsletter at Ward 5 newsletter. Contact my office, contact Tanya. You can always find us on social media at Twitter, Cedric Career, Instagram, Councilman Career, Facebook, Councilman Cedric Career. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, and condolences. It's really tragic. Wow. Councilman, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And there's so many good things in our community. There's so many challenging things. And what I said earlier was I hope we can spend a lot of time talking about the future of Las Vegas, and with the representation of Mr. Vallada and Mr. Floyd and you, Mr. Jensen, I think there's so much good things that can happen. And it's important to stay healthy, so eat a calzone, because it's National Calzone Day. That's not healthy at all, but it's very delicious. So 4 kegs in Ward 1. It's right off of Rainbow 95 as the best calzones that I've ever participated in eating. So if you want a calzone, 4 kegs in Ward 1. And the next Brews with Brian is on November 30th from 5 to 6. And it's going to be at Napoli Pizzeria. So please reach out to us if you want to participate and come in and share your ideas for the future. And feel free to reach out to us any way you like. And I know I need to change my picture. I'm working on it. Okay. We're getting our pictures taken in 2 weeks, so I'll have a new one. Thanks,
Yeah,
Mayor.
I mean, you just had Halloween. That would have been a great one. You need seasonal ones, so from that then to Christmas. I mean, my goodness, what opportunities abound here, right?
I agree.
Okay, plus your scrapbook. Councilwoman Bernie.
Thank you, Mayor. Happy November 1st. Feliz Dia de los Muertos. November is National Homeless Youth Awareness Month. Sadly, we have quite a crisis here in Nevada, as you can see from some of the data points. On any given night, more than 300 youth in Nevada are without a stable place to live and rest their head. About 12% of youth experiencing homelessness across the country reside in Nevada, which does not reflect our small population size. Nevada has consistently ranked, Las Vegas has consistently ranked among the top metropolitan areas, anywhere from 3rd place to 5th place, for the highest number of youth experiencing homelessness. And according to CCSD, there are about 13,000 students in Clark County who identify as homeless. We spoke about these data points and many other issues with our recent guest on Access Las Vegas. We were pleased to sit down and chat with Arash Ghaffori, who is CEO of the Nevada Partnership for Homeless Youth, which is doing incredible work in our valley. If you're interested in learning more about youth homelessness or finding out what our valley is doing to address the issue, please be sure to check out their upcoming Nevada Youth Homeless Summit on November 8th at the Smith Center starting at 9 a.m. November is also American Diabetes Month. According to the Southern Nevada Health District, on whose board I serve, more than 37 million Americans have diabetes, which is the 8th leading cause of death in the country and the primary cause of kidney failure, lower limb amputations, and blindness. People with diabetes also face higher risk of developing serious complications from flu and COVID-19. Approximately 270,000 people in Nevada, which is about 11% of our adult population, have been diagnosed with diabetes, and an additional 70,000 people have the disease but don't know it and aren't getting the treatment they need. About 19,000 Nevadans are diagnosed with diabetes every year. The topics of health, homelessness, and many others were discussed last week by a panel on which I was honored to participate. Nevada Women's Philanthropy hosted their annual State of the Community, where we heard about some of our most pressing community problems and explored some of the ways that we are talking about organizing to address some of these problems. Thank you to Sally Dobler, our new CEO of the Mayor's Fund, for attending. Moving closer to home, I was thrilled to attend the grand opening of Lounge 95 North in Ward 6. This new Italian restaurant is a partnership between Jerome Henry and Chief Daniele Dotto, who both have incredible track records with really successful restaurants and other places in our valley. We are so excited about this new smoke-free, family-friendly restaurant opening up in Ward 6. After the grand opening, we were pleased to head over to our annual Halloween Spooktacular event. It was great to see so many families. Thank you to our marshals for being there and handing out candy, including Sergeant Belcher, Officer Scott, and Officer Coloca. And thank you to all of our other vendors like Dignity Health and the Girl Scouts for being there and supporting the fun. Last Saturday, we partnered with Get Outdoors Nevada to clean up Polly Gonzalez Park and plant 14 trees. We were pleased to have Sherry Swank, our Channel 8 weather anchor, as well as our very own Nancy Byrne on site to lend a helping hand. We also honored Ward 6 resident Janet McFarland, who's been a tireless tree advocate to make sure Polly Gonzalez Park remains the beautiful park that it is. We are pleased to welcome Matt Etzel, our newest appointee to the YNAP board. Matt is a Ward 6 resident and really excited about taking on this new role. For some of our upcoming events, we'll have our document shredding on November 4th from 10 to 12 at the Centennial Hills Community Center YMCA. Please bring your documents as well as your old prescriptions. Please don't bring any batteries. We'll be partnering also on November 4th with the Get Outdoors Nevada to clean up Centennial Hills Park this weekend from 9 to 11. So clean a park and then head over to clean out your house by dropping off your old documents and prescription medicines. On November 9th, we will be hosting our monthly Bocaditos with Bruni. Please stop by and share your concerns and your great ideas for making Ward 6 the best ward to live in. On December 2nd, we'll be hosting our annual Cowboy Christmas and Art in the Park event at our beautiful Floyd Lamb Park from 10 to 4. Please contact us if you're interested in being an art vendor and participating in this amazing event. As always, we encourage you to stay in touch with our office. You can call 229-5463 or email us at ward6@lasvegasnevada.gov. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilwoman Bernie. Councilwoman Diaz.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and yes, our condolences with my former colleague, Assemblyman Munford's family, and then also what a tragedy to have lost Mr. Barry Becker on a cycling accident. Just so unfortunate that we're losing lives in that way. And so just want to start off that way, extending our heartfelt condolences to them, and may they have peace soon. On a brighter note, I just want to say, yay, Aces! They are our champions, back-to-back champions in 21 years. I think it's a huge feat that should be celebrated, and the 2023 Las Vegas Aces team is the greatest of all time, having won 34 games, the most of any WNBA franchise team to date in one season. So I feel very good to, I feel very represented by these ladies doing some awesome work on that basketball court. On October 21st, we had our 22nd Las Vegas Book Festival, and I had the wonderful opportunity to introduce Rebecca Yarros, an amazing author that came to us from Colorado, but so many people traveled to Vegas just to catch Miss Yarros here. So we had standing room only in that historic Fifth Street School auditorium, and I think everybody was really excited about Fourth Wing, which was her first book of a five-book series she's about to write. And so this is really, really awesome. I want to thank all of our fabulous City of Las Vegas team who made this event be so amazing, because it was definitely probably one of my favorite book festivals of all time. On October 21st in the morning, before hitting the book festival, we went to the Hallow Clean. So we rolled up our sleeves and cleaned up the alleys and cleaned up the adjacency there. Special shout out to Caridad and their volunteers, and also our neighborhood services folks who came down and helped us keep as much as we can some of those alleys and sidewalks clean. So it's always great to come out and pick up that micro trash. I am so over straws and cigarette butts at this time, but comes with it. On October 26th, the mayor and I had the privilege to be there for the REACH Clinic's ribbon cutting ceremony, and REACH has been offering health services and referrals to especially the community that is uninsured or underinsured, and it was just awesome to see the Seves family, Rebecca, Luis, and Oscar, which is, they're all siblings, bring finally a clinic offering to the community. You don't have to be underinsured or uninsured to come to their clinic, so making sure that people know they are located off of Charleston and Las Vegas Boulevard-ish, adjacent the Wolfson Medical Building, and just look up Rich Community Clinic and you'll see where they are. They're on the 5th floor. On October 26th, the Ward 3 team with incredible community partners were able to bring a fall festival free of charge to our community. And I just want to thank the amazing staff at East Las Vegas Community Center. Mo has been an amazing director there. And wow, we had about over 1,500 residents between kiddos and families coming through. And I want to give a big thank you to Coolsville Tattoo, and obviously our wonderful and dedicated city team and all our wonderful community partners, including Fiesta 98.1, La Campesina, Commissioner William McCurdy, Commissioner Tick Sagerbloom, for their support in being part of these festivities. I think everybody enjoyed the train rides, the getting a pumpkin from the pumpkin patch, and getting their pictures taken so that they can kind of have this memory in their families' photo albums. Next festivities coming up is Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos at Woodlawn Cemetery on November 1st and 2nd. Folks who have their family members there can go visit on Wednesday and Thursday, so the 1st and the 2nd, 5:30 a.m. to midnight. The cemetery will be accessible and have extended hours only for families whose loved ones are buried at our Woodland Cemetery and who like to celebrate Dia de los Muertos. A lot of folks that come from other parts of Latin America and Mexico celebrate that day. They go visit the gravesite, they clean it up, and I just learned that in South Korea they also have a similar tradition, so it's kind of cool to know that there's many parts of the world that kind of have similar traditions, and making sure we remember those who are no longer with us anymore. Today, not today, tomorrow, on Thursday, November 2nd, the city has its own Dia de los Muertos event at Sammy Davis Jr. Festival Plaza in Lorenzi Park, and ofrenda contest will be there. Artisan vendors, food trucks, kid activities, entertainment, dressed in your best Catrina costume, and bring your blankets because it is cooling down quite a bit. So this event will be happening tomorrow. It's free and open to the public. So tomorrow, November 2nd, 4 to 9 p.m. at Sammy Davis Jr. Festival Plaza. And speaking of cooler weathers, I hope everybody's bundling up and ready to activate and be outdoors a little bit more. So this Saturday is going to be a busy one in Ward 3. We're having a Safe Village Stupak Community Neighborhood Cleanup with our partners from Metro, with a lot of the property owners back in that neighborhood. We're going to be meeting up at the Stupak Community Center on 251 West Boston Avenue at 9:30 a.m. and the cleanup will commence and happen from 10 to noon. And then simultaneously at Freedom Park, we're going to have Get Outdoors Nevada helping assist the community to help us beautify and clean Freedom Park. Also Saturday, November 4th, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. And so I hope you guys can make either one of those cleanup efforts. We will be having on Tuesday, November 7th from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. a small business and food truck expo. It'll be a one-stop shop for all things business. So come on over to the expo at World Market Center, 435 South Grand Central Parkway, and get your questions asked that day. So take note of that. It's a wonderful opportunity and definitely a one-stop shop. Want to also put on everyone's radar that our Las Vegas Veterans Day Parade is happening on November 11th, and I hope everyone will come on down to downtown Las Vegas to take it all in. 10 a.m. is the time that we'll start the parade on the 11th, and it is produced by the Veterans Action Group. Road closures start at 6 a.m. and they will reopen at 2 p.m. Major road closures include 4th Street from Las Vegas Boulevard to Stewart Avenue and all streets in between. The parade route will be northbound on 4th Street from Garces to Stewart Avenues. And again, just putting in a plug for See-Click Fix. If you see any issues that require city attention, some of which notably have been brought to me, is a lot of street light outages. So please, 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 those are so important in making sure that we can see pedestrians, cyclists, motorists, anybody. We need those lights on and activated, but sometimes if it's not being reported to us, we have no way of knowing. There is no system right now currently that tells us a light is down and out, so we do rely heavily on our folks reporting those outages to us so we can expedite fixing the outages. So please download that app, and you can also always email one of the city council representatives as well, and we channel those requests immediately. And that's it for me, Mayor. They can always stay in touch with me via social media or subscribe to the newsletter or call our office or email us, whatever they prefer.
Thank you very much. And Councilwoman Polensky, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I too served with Assemblyman Mumford. Condolences to his family. He always had something witty to say. That is my fondest memory of him. On October 17th, alongside Mayor Goodman, Councilman Creer, and Councilwoman Diaz, I had the honor of attending the Fremont Street DPS substation ribbon cutting ceremony. The substation will be a tremendous asset for both businesses and visitors in the downtown area. I'm so proud of the City of Las Vegas for making this happen so quickly. It was a great time. On October 19th, Councilwoman Diaz and I attended a ribbon cutting for Tilson Communications. Tilson has begun working on projects in the city which will bring much-needed fiber infrastructure, making services faster and more affordable for our residents. Competition is good. Next up, on October 20th, I hosted a meet and greet at Durango Hills YMCA. We had a great turnout and had several productive conversations with lots of residents from Ward 4. My husband Steve and I attended LV MPD's Best of the Badge Gala on October 20th. It was a wonderful event, and we had the opportunity to meet awardees and their families who make such a tremendous impact on our community every day. I have a personal friend there on the right, Officer Humberto Zarate, who won a Preservation of Life Award. And when I asked him afterwards, how does it feel, congratulations, he minimized it, saying, that's just what we do every day. Great man. Next up, my staff attended the Durango Hills YMCA Trunk or Treat on October 20th. The night was a fabulous success with over 1,000 children and their families who came for a fun night of treats, music, and games. To commemorate and honor victims and survivors of those that were impacted by domestic violence, I attended the Safe Nest 5th Annual Run for Hope, October 22nd in Ward 4. I was proud to present a proclamation to our CEO, Liz Ortenberger, for the organization's tireless work in our community. And next up, lastly, I had the opportunity to join friends at 3 Square on a daily routine food delivery route. During that ride along, I got to see firsthand just how many organizations and individuals benefit from the goods provided by 3 Square every day. Keep up the good work, guys. On October 25th, I attended Sun City Summerlin's Security Patrol 200 Club dinner. It's an annual event held to recognize those volunteers who dedicate over 200 more plus hours in a year helping to patrol their neighborhoods. This year's Officer of the Year has served an astounding 4,500 volunteer hours in just 5 years. Those folks are frontline first responders in our Sun City area, and our hats off. Last Thursday, I accompanied Chief Potts and other DPS officers and Dr. Tammy Malich to a book reading of Making It Better in Las Vegas for 3rd graders at Mark Carey Elementary School. And I'll remind you that Mark Carey was a law enforcement officer here in Southern Nevada, and the school's named after him. He lost his life in the line of duty. As a special surprise, we discovered that Deputy City Marshal Garrett Wright, one of our very own, who was at the event, was actually an attendee, an alumnus of Mark Kelly Elementary School when he was a child. And when he mentioned that he was a graduate and that going to that school is what inspired him to become a law enforcement officer, those kids went wild. They were so eager to participate in the reading of the book and so happy for us to be there. And as a side note, we do this job and we hope that our impact is significant, but I can report to you that this came to fruition because we had our first principal roundtable in Ward 4, first ever, a couple months ago, and the principal at Mark Kelly Elementary said, I want more law enforcement presence in my school, and then we did this. So those principal roundtables you might think aren't as helpful maybe, or do we really spend the time, but I can tell you that in my experience, our first roundtable has really become fruitful and great things have stemmed from it, so I'm proud of that. On Friday, my team participated in the annual LVPPA Trunk or Treat. Over 1,000 kids and their families came out for a great night of food, music, a haunted house, and tons of candy. We also took home the prize for the best trunk with our rendition of The Sandlot. So we brought home some hardware to the city of Las Vegas. Very proud. Next up, according to Child Seekers, 20 children go missing in Nevada every single day. This slide features just a handful of the current missing children. If you have any information, please call Las Vegas Metro Department's Missing Person Detail at 702-828-3111. At-risk youth or runaways, please call or visit the website listed for resources and a confidential ear. And next up, to commemorate Nevada Day. Of course, Nevada became a state October 31st, 1864. I have a few interesting facts. Number one, although it is no longer enforced, in Eureka, Nevada, it is illegal for men with mustaches to kiss women. Number two, blue jeans were invented in 1870 by a tailor in Reno. And lastly, the Golden Gate Hotel and Casino is the oldest in Las Vegas, opening its doors 117 years ago on January 13th, 1906. Next up, please join me Tuesday, November 7th at 5:30 p.m. at the Starbright Theater, where myself and Las Vegas Metro Summerlin Area Command and other speakers will be there to discuss our homeless issues and provide resources available throughout the city of Las Vegas. For more information, please feel free to call my office. Everyone is welcome. On Saturday, November 18th, from 10 to 12, Ward 4 is having a document shredding and medication disposal at Cliff Shadows Clubhouse and parking lot. A lot going on this month. We hope to see you there. Please be sure to remove staples and paper clips from all your documents. I'm talking to you, Ward 4, Sun City specifically. No batteries. We're going to have a safe and fire-free document shredding. And lastly, please stay in contact with my staff and my office. We're on social media platforms, et cetera, et cetera. Please check us out. Sign up for our newsletter. We're always here to provide any assistance that we can. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Seaman.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm going to forego my slides today and talk about, I was notified during the council meeting by constituents and the community that there was hate graffiti all over buildings residential in my ward. I was sent pictures. I went out there to support the community. I want to thank Metro for being there. I want to say and send a message that we cannot and we will not tolerate anti-Semitism or hate of any kind. And I know that the mayor stands by me with this, and we must end it. This is the beginning, and it's time to end it. So again, thank the City of Las Vegas for erasing what we need to erase and eradicate, and that's hate. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. A very sad time that was to have that notification. And the beauty of why we all live here is because each one of us is important to today and the tomorrows, not only for ourselves, but our families and our children. Those of us who've decided this is a place to spew hatred and intolerance, you need to go away. I'd prefer you leave the country, but you do not belong anywhere. You're the wrong type of person. It starts with each one of us to be caring, compassionate, educated, and be a positive force. The uniqueness, at least of the past 24 years, that I'm more closely aligned with here in this wonderful community is that everyone, and I mean everyone, has been respectful of each other, appreciates our differences, but lauds each other and considers every one of us part of a family that's creating an environment that's compassionate, that is doing something to make the entire world a better place by how it represents itself. It's a sad time when a single individual takes it upon him or herself to think of the evil that they can do, and they hide behind some type of anonymity and do whatever they do in darkness, in disguise. You're deplorable people, and you need to leave. This is not a home for you. We have people of all nationalities, all races, all religions, all political interests, different ideas, different foods, different clothing, and we appreciate those differences because it has made this city unique not only in this country, but known around the world. They want to come here, they want to relax, they want to be safe, they want to have a good time, they want to appreciate everything that all of us who live here and continue to want to raise families here. We're one people. And so wherever this hatred lies, you don't deserve to be in Las Vegas. You don't deserve, actually, to live. So know that we are aware. We will always protect each other. This is a community of one. And I even feel terrible to have to address that, but knowing that Councilwoman immediately had to leave to see what she could do to help in her ward. Had the rest of the council known, I'm sure they would have gotten up, as would have our leadership in the mayor, in the city manager's office. It was a very sad time. But life will go on, and we will continue to stand firm on the compassion for each other. And this Friday is First Friday, and so downtown's going to be phenomenal and a lot of fun, and we will keep it safe. Again, I want to thank our MORE team, our conditions, all of our law enforcement officers, all first responders that are out there. It's time to be very aware of your surroundings, sadly, for the few miscreants that try to live in our community. But First Friday will be safe and wonderful, and I do want to wish Steve Ford, our deputy manager, who's off on vacation, today's his birthday, and Zuri Gomez, who handles all the phones and everything on the council and mayor's floor. We can't do without her. Happy birthday to you. And be positive, think wonderfully. This is a great community. We're so blessed to live here. We're so blessed to be part of what's going on every day. And it's because each of us loves this community and loves its vibrancy and its diversity. So we are the positive. We will continue to be the positive force here. We hear and we listen. And I just want to thank our city manager and his entire team. Obviously, our IT, who handles this all the time, our public information office, who's always on top of everything. Certainly our support staff in every single office throughout the city. This is our town. This is our state. We own it, and nobody is going to take us off the task of making this the best city in the world. We're about world-class stature, and we're going there. So thank you all, and our next meeting is 15th of November.
12:15.
November. We have another meeting. It's all right. It's a stressful time. Well, you can't wait to get to Christmas. I know that. But we have Thanksgiving first. So anyway, thank you all. Thank you, council. Thank you, our marshals, and everyone that believes in goodness and humanity's goodness. This meeting is adjourned.